Hello everyone and welcome to this week's GeoGuessr World League. I'm joined, well first of all I'm Toby. I'm joined by Siggy. Siggy, how are you doing on this mighty fine Sunday?
Doing pretty well. Has been quite a while since we casted in this combination. But,
it has.
Yeah, we haven't lost it anyway, so let's...
Now you jinxed it. Now we're gonna mess up the entire broadcast. That's we're already doing a good job of that. But welcome everyone to GeoGuessr. If you're new here, if it's your first time here, you are in for a treat. We're gonna give you 3 hours of fantastic GeoGuessr games being played, and then later tonight there's gonna be even more GeoGuessr. So if you didn't know already, Sunday is GeoGuessr Day. Now, we are here in the World League. We have made our way through to week 15, which is where we are sat now. There's 21 weeks in total. And so far, what do you think, Siggy? Man, I gotta say, it's been a pretty damn good tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I say time flies by because we're just talking about how's it already week 15.
Yeah.
So we're already 3/4 of the way done after this week. Yeah, where does time go? I don't know. It just feels like yesterday the league started, so... It
is crazy, let alone the fact that we have just entered March. To me, it's like, wait, wasn't it like New Year's last week? I don't even... Wait, what? It's confusing. It is definitely confusing. But again, in favor of the newer viewers out there, we know that there are some of you. Welcome. And for the older viewers coming back, nice of you to still tune in. We love having you here. But for the newer viewers out there, let's get a little look into exactly how GeoGuessr works. And I'll go through this one first, Siggy, and then you'll do the next one, okay? So
sounds fine.
Yeah, GeoGuessr, simple game really. I mean, you've all gone on Google Maps before, I assume. You've all clicked little man, plopped him down on a map to see exactly where you stood using Street View, it's called. And this game works the same way. You get plopped down somewhere random in the globe with Street View, then you can maneuver around to try and figure out exactly where you are. And once you feel like you know, you open your map, and then you plop down your location, you click login, and then, hopefully you found yourself as close to the right location as can be, in which case you get 5,000 points, or a 5k, as we like to call it. And the further away you are from the location, the less points you get. You do this against your opponent, and whoever is closer nets themselves more points, and the opponent takes damage based on the distance between you and your opponent's guess. I think that's the best way I can describe it. But of course, the game also comes with 3 game modes that we play, because it would be too easy if they could always just maneuver around. So Siggy, go ahead.
Yeah, the first game that we start off is always the moving mode, which both players can move around freely along the Google Street View and can look around, look at clues, maybe move to a sign and read it and use information given. Then the second game will be no move, where the players are stuck. They can look around still, but they cannot move any step forward. And if a decider is needed, so if it's 1-1 after the first 2 games, we go into the NMPZ no move, pan or zooming mode, which basically gives them a still image, and that is all they get.
Do we change the name to image mode? I'm not sure.
Nah, I don't think so.
But of course, a competitive game comes with a scoring system as well, and it's really very simple. All of the World League is played in best of 3s, meaning if you get yourself 2 wins, you net yourself the win. But also, with that, if you get yourself a 2-1 victory, you get 2 points, your opponent gets 1 for the round that they won, but should you be able to win it 2-0, you get the total 3 points in the round, and your opponent goes away with nothing. Very straightforward. And now let's take a look at exactly how all these games that have been played over the last 14 weeks have set us up for today. Radu is set up in first place at 70 points thus far, ahead of Blinky, but as you can see as well, he has played 3 matches more. So I believe that by the end of week 21, all players will have played the same amount of matches, thus evening things out. But as you can see, we have 5 players up in the 60s, and then there's a bit of a drop-off down to Zigzag in 6th place. Siggy, any big surprises to you when you look at the leaderboard here?
I mean, to me, still a big surprise is how Captain is so high up. Even though he's now in place 15, he has played so little games. And a thing I want to highlight here is that we see the place number 12, which is the cutoff for the World Cup qualification. It's literally like, there's like 6 people fighting for that spot or even more, because we see Lenny at 45 points, and we go even 3 points down only, which is a singular win. And we are in place 20. So that puts 9 people in that threshold where they can
insane.
win one game and go into the top 12.
I mean, you can pretty much skip the second to left bracket with 2 wins.
Yes.
If you're Spaghetti at 41, you get 2 wins, you're in 10th. You just skip 20 through 11. That's insane. That's how close it is, and it goes to show that coming down to the end of this tournament, and it's always the same in these sort of tournaments where the points are small, like it's 1 point, 2 point, these sort of things. We're going to come down to a situation where the cutoff between 12th and 13th could be, as we see right now, tied. And then we go into the tiebreakers, and then it gets really, really interesting with who's going to make it through to the World Cup and who is not. But now, let's take a look at this Week 15 schedule as we are to see who's going to be playing. We're starting off today's broadcast with Yanik versus Ammani. Then we get Kirania versus Clement. And then off-stream, Spaghetti and Amani are going to be playing against one another. Then we hop on over to the next section where Debre is going to take on Clement. Wow, we get back-to-back Danish games? How about that, Clement? Represent. I like it. We get to see them two play. Then Yanik versus Malfunction. And then Blinky and Strefan are going to be playing off stream. And then moving on, you can see, I mean, I don't have to mention them all. You have eyes, your viewers, I suppose, as well. Half of you probably have me muted right now anyway, because you want to read this yourself. So, pretty interesting matches we got coming today. Any specific matches that stand out to you as the extra excited for here, Siggy?
Yeah, I think sticking to the end will definitely pay off, because I think for me the 2 most exciting matchups are the ones in the last slot. I have to say, just because we have a clash of playstyles in the match versus Ammani versus Malfunction. Basically, NMPZ player versus moving player, so that will be interesting to see whether it even goes to NMPZ or not. Yeah. And then the second match is Debre versus Strefan, 2 of the players who are performing very well in the top right now. So definitely. I'm going to be very excited to see those 2, you know, fight it out and see who's gonna cup on top.
Definitely. And if you feel like there were players that you didn't see on screen, they're like, oh, why are they not playing? There's a very good chance that they will be playing later tonight. Actually, exactly 7 hours from right now, those games will be starting. So don't worry, you get GeoGuessr all day long. But now, let's get hyped up. Let's get ready for this first match we are about to see. And Siggy, as the professional yourself, I'll let you go over Ammani, Yanik. Talk to me about them.
Yanik and Ammani, it's 2 neighbors, Germany versus Netherlands. We do see the stats coming in both at the end of the table, I would say. We see Yanik 34% win rate, and we see Ammani 46. So to me, it seems like Ammani would be the favorite here, and I would kind of second that, because Ammani is still maybe in the race to at least qualify for the EMEA tournament. Meanwhile, Yanik, although he can still do it, it's going to be very rough for him, and he basically has to win his remaining 10 or 9 games. I'm not sure how much exactly he has left, but he would need to have a very good run here, and the run has to start right now.
It does. There's still enough weeks left that theoretically, as we like to say it, everything can happen, but it is getting very, very hard to make that climb. Yanik, as you can see, currently sat down in 35th, would really want to get things going here, and a win. Preferably a 2-0 win would get him 3 points. Could maybe, potentially, be the start of his climb back up that leaderboard. But here we have them, as you said, the German versus the Dutch player. And the game is on. Game number 1 is in moving. And, well, here we go. The prediction right now, set below, has interesting info on our screen. It predicts that Yanik, based on previous guesses in this country, of course, we don't know where it is. I mean, I'm sure Siggy does. But based on guesses made in this country, the game predicts that Yanik has a better chance of coming out victorious in round 1.
Yeah, we are in Russia, which is a very big country, and we did see scores above 3K though, so no surprises there. It is a bit of a round where there's not real information. Both of them kind of zooming into the antenna over and over, because that's what people really learn to narrow it down in Russia. I do like the region maybe around Moscow, and there is a sign on Yanik's screen. Can he get to that though?
It's a little bit further down the road. Not sure if he's going to get there in time. Only now is Ammani opening up the map, going a bit northeast of Moscow. I like that kind of just hunch. Could be around, and it actually is all the way over towards the border to Latvia. So an interesting first round. Neither of the players really close, but also I like to think that's some of the most moving I've seen in a moving round in a very long time. They were practically sending it down the street all the way down to the 10-second mark, or there was just no good info nearby.
No, not really any information nearby. Here we at least have a town name, and what both players will look for on a on this kind of road in Brazil, where it's just a very long stretch, is usually you see mile markers, and we do have a sign that says Boa Vista and Manaus, which are so far apart from each other, so... But we could just be on the road between them.
I just like the fact that there was a BR. For all the people out there that are not good at GeoGuessr, I know it's dangerous to kind of cling on these, but the one thing that helped me in my beginning of GeoGuessr was just internet domains. They can be kind of scary to use on buses, because buses do travel, but outside of that, they do come in pretty handy to get to know those. Manaus, just on the northern side, is where Ammani is locking in. Yanik is going to join him pretty much in the exact same spot, and they could have gone a bit further north, would have been on point, but still, similar scores here. Once again, 400 damage done to Yanik as we head on into round number 3.
Yeah, we were basically in Venezuela there, basically heading down the road to the border. Did get new coverage this year, so interesting to see that one. And this one should just be a very easy, straightforward round. We do have a town name, and it looks like a big city. And there's not many cities in Guatemala, so just find it.
Just find it, forehead. Just keep scanning. You got all the time you need. Ammani made it a bit shorter.
Yeah, he did find the town.
Yep. See who's going to be close up. It's going to be Ammani right on point, almost lining up the 5k. 4998 is what's going to come through. Yanik now, yeah, repositioning in the chair. Let's get a little check, posture check, chat out there. Get straight on your backs. I know you're all leaning back in your couches eating your breakfast right now. Oh, maybe not breakfast at 12 o'clock. I don't know. We're gamers, aren't we? But from one small country straight to another, Rwanda now on the chopping block.
Yeah, very easy Rwanda, and both of them not bothering to move around because the damage would even be very minimal. Yeah. And I think people are not very confident on the information yet in Rwanda, where you could technically find it like town names, but you have never learned them before. So they just skipped around.
We skip. We move on. And of course, for those of you guys wondering, well, they could be doing this forever, couldn't it? Well, not really. Because look towards the top right side of your screen. You can see the damage multipliers. They keep stacking with every single round.
Toby,
oh my god. Oh my god. We're in Denmark.
But where?
Oh, I hate this. I hate that I'm not sure. Give me a sign. Yeah, well, that literally just means the mountain. We don't have mountains. This is bait. It must be somewhere else. Is there a city in Denmark called the Mountain? That is the biggest scam. Don't go there, guys.
There it is again.
The sign literally just... I get that they're confused. It says Denmark, but they're... Wait, what? It doesn't add up. Something seems wrong. Birkelse. Okay, now we're starting to make more sense. Yanik is looking towards Jutland. I like it. Scanning the western side, going up north of Skjern towards Holstebro. I'm actually not sure exactly where it is, but he's lining up 11. He found the road. And yeah, it's a smaller city, so he has to zoom in a bit further. But 11 is one of the longer ones. Not that it's really going to matter in Denmark. It is all the way up towards Aalborg. Nice guess, though. Yeah, well, I like it. I did not know there was a city in Denmark called The Mountain. But it makes sense, because it can't be that big a mountain.
Well, I mean, for Danish standards, it's maybe a mountain, but probably not for for other countries.
I mean, I biked today. I think it had an incline of like 2 meters, and my legs are sore now, so it makes sense.
Honestly, that seems kind of nice, biking and not going up any elevation.
Well, I had the wind in my face all the way, so it didn't.
Oh, okay.
It felt like going uphill.
But let's keep it GeoGuessr related, shall we?
Oh, yes, true, of course, I forgot about that.
We are casting something called GeoGuessr World League, so let's take a quick look. We are back in Brazil, so both of them will try to find an area code here, or a phone code for Brazil, because that's the best information you really get in urban environments. And we do see Ammani finding a sign, but that does not seem like a good phone number here. Has no no code, no area code.
I just thought he didn't like the numbers. I was like, wow, that's a bad combination of numbers.
That's a lot of freeze. No, don't like that.
9 seconds. Only now is Ammani opening up the map. Didn't get what he liked. He's going down to Minas Gerais to see if that's going to pay off for him. They're both somewhat close to one another. I think Yanik a bit further towards the west, and it's going to pay off for him. Not massive damage, I say that, but still 2k at that. We are into round 6, so of course the multipliers help out a bit, and when it's a big enough country, that does help out there too. So, but still, I mean, it's a pretty even match back and forth, really, up until this point. Ammani set at 3,800 now coming into round 7.
Ooh, and we see a big difference in scores here. We are in Indonesia with these bollards, and we just see an insta-guess in Batam. I kind of like that. We do have these weird pole tops you get on the islands of Batam and also, I think, Bangka. But overall, with the soil, I kind of like the guess, but very risky. It's very far away from everything else.
Oh!
Really.
Yeah, oh my lord, he was readjusting all over the place.
How did he end up there?
I'm not sure. It seemed like he was readjusting after the time I had run out too. He was flying all over the place.
Oh, we need the VAR to come in here. That did not look that did not look legal, but
it's German internet. It's fine. He can do whatever he wants. It's never really fully on point. As we now go to what to me looks like Japan.
yeah, pretty easy Japan. We do have the low camera and the Japanese cars if you want to use something not meta related. A lot of these very small Japanese cars, very easy to recognize. And now the question is, who has learned their poles? I think both, or I hope
you
both.
would imagine.
But it seems like nobody really just, slamming it down instantly after seeing the first pole, which is usually what happens.
They definitely take their time here. I mean, the average guessing time was both on 33 seconds, which is, not in the high end, not in the low end, but in some of these moving rounds so far, they've really been, moving quite a lot compared to what we've seen in previous games. 10 seconds now left to work with. Yanik defaulting towards Tokyo. Ammani doing the same thing. We'll see if they end up getting close with their guesses here.
Yeah, we did have Tokyo plates.
There you go, east side. Oh, Amani, a little frustrated with that one. Maybe he knew. And in hindsight, he was like, oh, I knew that one. I should have been out there. Because that could have been, it's only 100-some kilometers, but could have been big damage with the multipliers now stacking. And Amani being sat down behind now. In round 9, he really wants to get things evened up here.
Oh, what? We've seen Instagos on a Germany round. It would make sense, because if Yanik finds a single sign, he will definitely know instantly where he is.
That makes sense.
And this gives Ammani at least a fighting chance to get somewhat close. There is a sign in the distance, but I don't think he can read it.
Considering the fact that Ammani insta-sended, they're very close to each other, and it's actually going to be on the better spot of the two in this. So, as you said, dangerous thing for him to do, but he's not fully satisfied. You can tell on his face. He wanted it to be more even, wanted to be maybe even ahead coming into this last round. Now, whoever is in front by the end of this, even if we don't have anyone going all the way down to 0, will be the victor of game 1.
Ooh, and this is going to be very interesting. This is the new coverage, and I think it is Split Lake. No, it's not.
It wasn't.
It was not even Manitoba.
You were there, he was there, not gonna matter. It's gonna be Ammani clawing back for a win there. But what an even matchup. Up until, I think, round 5 or 6, where Ammani took 2,000 damage. They were both set above 5k, and then he slowly kind of claws back at Yanik, and then to the big hit there at the end. Very even game there in this moving round that could have gone both ways.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is that both of them kind of just sent in the exact same second on the last round. They were like, okay, this is the town I choose. I won't move around, even though I've technically, 15 extra seconds. But both of them were kind of confident in their ability to guess that without any information given. So
is this a Spain plonk, or is that a very specific? Okay, no, not a plonk at all. I was gonna say, is this a kind of defaulting Southwest Spain? But no, there's clearly brain behind the location there.
That was a very impressive guess. Not sure how much knowledge was behind that, but that was very impressive.
He barely even zoomed in and still got completely on point. Impressive. And that one, as Ammani now looks towards Atlanta. What are you thinking here, Siggy?
Yeah, we have the US road lines here, and we did see that Ammani is better in the US, and I kind of would second that. He did train US for a very long time, and it really shows off here.
It does indeed. Atlanta confirmed 2,000 damage. Yanik might get the first round, but Ammani instantly swinging back. Now this is complete turnaround from what we saw in the previous game, where they were both sat very close. Of course, no move does limit your options for info. But here we go. It's round 3.
Yeah, round 3 looking like at least South America, I would say. We have some very interesting trees here. But we did have a Peru pole, so
that helps.
But nobody really going for any specific guess. Both kind of just going near Lima here.
A lot of info to go by. We get the country down, but in a country like Peru can still mean big damages come through and things. And now, practically even as can be 2 points separating these two players coming into round 4.
And we are back in Japan for good or worse. And we do have some poles in the distance, so maybe could make out something. The plates look southernish, so the most north it could be would be Tokyo. But the rest, very hard to tell from this distance. Maybe somebody learned their Transformers and how they're positioned, but I haven't, so sorry, didn't do my homework.
Fair enough. I thought for a second you were talking about Transformers, the TV show, and not actually things you use in GeoGuessr. But of course, Transformers.
Transformers, very good movie, I have to say.
It is. All of them. All of the cartoons as well. As we get a log in on the south side of Osaka, we'll see if there's to follow. And once again, full shoreline on this one. We're east side of Tokyo earlier, and now all the way to the southern side of Wakayama.
Yeah, these coastal locations really hitting different. We did have some water though, so could maybe have lined it up, but nobody going for those risky guesses. And now we have something very rare these days, because we do have Gen 3 Senegal with the rifts in the sky basically forgotten these days, because pretty much all the coverage has been overwritten. There's not that many roads left, and if somebody has looked into Gen 3 these days, they could know this road, because I think there's like 5 or 6 roads left.
There you go. We'll see if Yanik will find it. Oh, he went full east before, now defaulting back left. Ammani, though, knew exactly where it was. And
so close.
Not getting the 5k, but still a lot of damage coming through, setting Yanik down under 2,000 health.
Wow, that was very impressive. And as I said, if somebody has learned the Gen 3 roads, they definitely will get them, because there's, as I said, 5 or 6 roads, I would say, maximum left as we go into this round, which is another big country. Both of them kind of trying to find any text here that could give them any clue, but it seems like it's just a bit too far away to read.
Yeah, always like that in no move. When you just play a long moving game, you're all mad. Like you click the map, go like, wait, no, I can't. And then you go, oh, come on, can I lean left a bit just to get a better angle on that side? But no, not quite the case. There is info to go by, but just not what they're looking for. Yanik, when in doubt, go Mexico City. He's going to set himself up a bit further towards the southeast, and Ammani is actually following him.
Yeah, we do have a very big mountain southwest, so both of them trying to make sense of that, where that could end up being, and both of them in the same spot right now.
Yeah.
Basically on top of each other.
See if that's gonna pay off. Well, I mean, to some extent, the fact of the matter is that they don't really take damage. And there is the wave that we do tend to see in situations like these where they're both off, but
no wave back.
Shoulder to
Stone
shoulder.
cold.
Yeah, the BM. Yanik is full game mode. I respect it. He's behind one round. He's down by over 1,000 health. He doesn't have time to sit and smile and wave at his opponent, who's currently sat here in the lead.
Our next location will be in Turkey here, with these houses, and we do have some kind of valley to the north and mountains again in the distance. This is not an easy location to guess, because it looks green, although this could be just in the dry part and we're just on a mountain. That gives a bit of more rain than usual.
Amani is defaulting up towards Ankara. Could have gone a bit further east, would have paid off better, but still, a round gone in his favor, and with 4 times multipliers, that's actually going to be enough. Okay, I did not think that was going to be it, but indeed it was. Yanik down, Amani up 2-0. Yanik, as we said, would have really wanted to get some points off of this round, but Amani too, not really in the top of the leaderboards right now. Very, very satisfied, I'm sure, netting himself 3 points off of that match.
Yeah, that's very important points for Ammani. As we just saw, I mean, the top is very close together still. I think if he wins 2 more of these games with where he gets 3 points, he's basically in the top 12, and this is just how close it is right now. Just 2 more wins of 2 zeros, and he's in the top 12. I mean, how crazy is that? And he was like place 30 before this, so anything's still possible, and this is a big win for him.
It really is. I mean, the closer we get to the final couple of weeks, the more intense things are going to get. Because, I mean, obviously, when you're set in the first week, that win there could theoretically matter as much as the win in the last week will. But now you know the lay of the land. Now you know what you're getting up against. And the players, especially further down the leaderboard now, are starting to realize as well, I need wins, and I need to win practically all of them in order to claw my way back up. And Ammani, good job for him, netting himself 3 points off of this victory here. Now we are going to go into the second match. We're going to get to see Kirania up against Clement. We just got our Denmark location before, and I feel like we get one a month. So, feels Batman Clement, you're probably not going to get any home turf locations. But what do you have to say here about Kirania, Siggy?
Yeah, Kirania, 39% win rate. I did have him very high on my predictions, so it's kind of disappointing to see him this far down, because I was expecting a bit more from him. Kind of like where Lero is standing right now. His friend from Australia, so maybe a bit of a disappointment for him. But as we see on the other side, we have Clement, a bit of a higher win rate here, 45%. But as we see, both of them kind of still in the race to get in those placements for the regionals. And both of them want this win, but there can only be one winner. That's the catch.
That is true. That is true. You really want the win. You really want to get yourself closer to not just the top 12, of course, but the top echelons here as well. And you can see once again a matchup of two teams, or two players, who are a bit further down the leaderboard. Clement currently a bit further ahead as we make our way here into round number 1. Chat, who do you think is going to make it? Let us know in chat. Let us know in the predictions who you think is going to take it home as we get into round number 1.
Round number 1, spawning in Italy, and we see a Rome tree. Do you just plonk it down in Italy? I don't know. It's a very bizarre matter. But
well, I mean, Kirania is looking.
He is looking near Rome. Very interesting. We do have like some kind of abbreviation of the town, maybe ZTL. I'm not sure if that's the town name or.
Gotta know your.
He's looking.
You gotta know your Italian not yet built parks. If that's meta knowledge, then we really have come to reach a point where it's getting quite out of hand. Clement still scanning, 10 seconds left to work with. Haven't even looked at the map yet. We'll see. He is aware that it's Italy, but he's going quite a bit further north, all the way north of Florence.
Yeah, he thinks he's looking at the mountains north of Florence.
We'll see if he's going to be right or wrong. It's actually right in between him. It is practically in Florence. So even if they're both off by a bit, it's still going to be Clement closer.
Yeah, the funny part is Kirania did have assigned to Firenze, which is Florence in Italian. So he could have gone very close to it, even though that is a bit against the instincts of a GeoGuessr player to just click the town. True. You have a sign that leads to the town. That is usually a beginner mistake. But here it could have been big points for him to start off this game. But nothing is lost yet. I mean, 200 health is basically nothing. No.
Plenty of GeoGuessr left to play as we head to the US. Seems like, okay, Kirania locking in first here. We'll see if Clement is going to be soon to follow. 8 seconds left to work with. Gonna go East Coast as well. Further north in this one, though. He's jumping all around.
Yeah, he is going very far north. And as we see, Kirania getting the state right. Definitely has found something there to get this one correct. We did have winter coverage, which makes people go more northern than they should in the US. It's a very common thing that happens even to the top pros. But Kirania just using the moving here, and I think both of them will not move here because we just have a Saba pole there. But there is a town name, Kota.
You got 12 seconds. Come on, Kirania, give us that 5k.
Ooh, he found it?
He might have.
Line it up. Come on.
Line it up. Line it up. Road is leading north into the city. Oh! A bit off, but still impressive nonetheless. But I mean, as you can see here, 272 damage. Not going to be the biggest hit. But having said that, again, remember, my friends, 270 is way more than enough to be the difference maker come to round 10. So, or even just, I mean, at any point. So even though it's a small hit, it still could have a massive impact on the outcome of this game.
Okay, I have a question. Is this Idaho or Hawaii?
Both.
Both?
Yep.
Okay.
You heard it here first. I'm going to say in between. That makes it Los Angeles, but I'm going to go Hawaii.
Okay.
Then
well, this is Hawaii, but the question is, will somebody know?
I don't know if there's a place called Honoka in Idaho. It vibes more. It vibes more Hawaii to me.
Yeah, slightly. Just
also, I don't think there are that many palm trees in Idaho.
I haven't been into Idaho personally. One day.
True. So technically, we cannot say whether or not they're there. But a good thing we have Google coverage to help us make that point. Let's see. Which island, though? Which island are we working with? Where is it gonna be? Should have gone bigger. Should have gone to the south. It would have been on point. But still, damage come through, helping Clement claw back a bit in this matchup.
Yeah, the town name was definitely findable. You just said it earlier, and you said no way that's in Idaho, and it was not.
Hawaii.
It seems like we are not leaving North America. We are either back in the US or Canada.
I think it's only fair, right? We got an Australian playing versus a Dane. You cannot go anywhere near where they're from. So US is pretty much the only place we can go.
Oh, South America could be nice these days. We did have an Ontario poll there, I think, or is it a Quebec poll? Not quite sure. We have no front plate, so it should be Quebec.
Also, sorry to all the Canadians that just heard me say the US. As a Dane, we can all agree that, yeah.
Okay, there's a speed limit sign, so we are in the US.
In Washington, okay. So, even if it might be US, still opting to go close to the border of Canada. Clement still yet to open the map. 8 seconds left to work with. Both these players gonna increase their average guessing time by quite a margin in this moving game. As Clement a bit further south, down towards Portland, Oregon. It's gonna be closer. It was actually in Portland proper.
But the question is, are we over the border maybe? Because it's very hard to tell from here, but it could be very unlucky for Kirania to lose health on this round, where he got the state correct, but, you know, geographically Clement was closer.
True.
You know what they say?
Hate to see it.
Geographically closer.
Hate to see it. As we now go to Africa. But where, oh where are we? Plenty of stalls. I like the creativity of all the storefronts in some of these cities.
Yeah, and they're always good for finding information. We are in Kenya here, driving left. Yellow license plates, pretty much the only place that would make sense with this coverage.
Mombasa. And oh, did Kirania see a city name? I think they both might have.
Maybe. But I also would say the vegetation really gives off Mombasa vibes. We do have a palm tree there in the distance, which you don't really get anywhere else. You can technically get planted once in Nairobi, but other than that, don't really see them. We do have a town in Mariakani, but none of them has found a town.
When in doubt. I mean, you can see they're both scanning for it. But unluckily for them, apparently around Mombasa, there's 2,000 cities that start with the letter M. So difficult to try and scan for it. It's going to be a bit further inland. Actually, a somewhat big name in the grand scheme of things, but zoomed in a bit further, meaning that it got kind of blended in with all the other cities starting with an MA.
Yeah, and usually you don't really check inland there because there's not a lot of coverage. The coast has been covered pretty extensively, but... And now we see, prediction says pretty much even. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
But I expect some very close guesses because we are in the east of Russia, which is usually more, you know, learned. And this looks like just, you know, the road to Mongolia towards Chita or Ulan-Ude. Because we just have these very green fields, very short grass. That's kind of what you get near the border of Mongolia. It kind of, you know, the grass travels over the border. And that's a good sign.
Definitely. A lot of info available if you know the cities on the eastern side of Russia. Clement has still yet to go the same distance down the road. He's opted to stay in position and basing it more on the mountains in the distance, maybe.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued what town name is on there, because if it says Krasnoyarsk, it was not my first thought.
4 cities available, all over 100 kilometers away. We'll see who gets the better lineup. Kirania has better info available, but it's going to be Clement closer in this one.
He picked the wrong road to scan. And I was about to say the road he is scanning is usually... It doesn't look like that, because we had huge mountains. That's not what you get kind of on the road to Irkutsk. You usually have mountains south, but not really north. And in that round, we had mountains both sides. And Clement using basically only the landscape and getting the right road.
Well, they were, once upon a time, they were even in their predictions in this game, but now with a 5k hit on to Kirania, something tells me that next time we get Russia rounds, those statistics will be a little bit different. Clement wins the moving round. We now go into no move.
Yeah, and now I think both of them feel more comfortable, because I don't think they really like the moving mode, both of them. Definitely Clement not the most... But, okay, I say that, but...
Good start.
Good start.
When did Clement install a golden bed frame in his room?
Yeah, that looks very fancy. I mean, I was
is this a green screen of just some fancy place in the background? Or is it just showboating for all of us? I'm not quite sure what's happening. As we now go backpackers, is this a Mongolia tribute? It seems like it is.
It is, and we are in this national park north of Ulaanbaatar. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering what Clement's background is. This looks like a Hyatt Regency hotel bedroom.
He's sponsored by Hilton. That's what it is.
Maybe.
He's sat there chilling, playing from his presidential suite as we get into round number 3.
We see the prediction coming in, 4.3 versus 3.9. Interesting. My first thought was Thailand here, but can you really only get 4k points in Thailand?
Maybe. If you're good enough.
Maybe.
I would really want to hear, that's for sure. Considering where they are on the leaderboard right now. Wanna get good guesses galore. 30 seconds to work with. Not a whole lot of info available. What are you seeing here as like the biggest tells when it comes to guessing countries? Because obviously with this much trees and whatnot, it can be kind of difficult.
I think the easiest thing to recognize here is the red soil, which basically only leaves open a few countries. And I don't know what this plant is called, but it's very common in Thailand. So if anyone in chat knows what these small things are on the side of the road, let me know. But these fields I've only seen in Thailand, I think.
Clement looking Brazil. This is going to be huge.
Could...
Oh, that's a stinger.
Clement. And that's a one rounder. Oof.
Wow. Okay. Hilton sponsorship didn't work, at least not in that round, and we're now going into an NPC also. But by the way, for anyone who wants to clip that, I don't think there's actually any Hilton sponsorship, just so that you know, I don't get baited. But
okay,
it does
but
look
now
nice
as you
there
see
in
it
the
zoomed
background.
in, it looks very nice.
It does look very, very fancy, not gonna lie. As we now make our way into an NPC. Clement, he was in Thailand for a bit there as well, but opts to go far west to Brazil. And that's an unfortunate one. A bit of the danger of second-guessing yourself. Sometimes it helps you in desperate times. Sometimes it bamboozles you. And this one was not one that Clement would have wanted.
But you know what that means for us? We are blessed with an NMPZ game, so
I
won't even complain about that one.
That is true. Let's see. NMPC, all you get is a still image, and the only zoom you can do is moving your face closer to the monitor. Let's see where this first round takes us.
And we see an instant lean into the monitor by Clement as we go into a very rural round in Europe, I would say. Very narrow road. You wouldn't really get that in the US, where you get a similar vegetation, but very interesting pole here. Just a wooden pole with nothing else.
What are you hunching on this one? What's your vibe?
I don't know, my vibe was Europe with the fence. I don't really see that in the US. The pole is making me think US though, because that's not something you really see in Europe here.
Okay. I'm gonna go, this has worked for me before. When in doubt, go France. I'm gonna go France, even though it's
Honestly,
probably incorrect.
France is not a bad guess. I would just hedge in Belgium and hedge like France and Germany.
Go somewhere in the middle of the Atlantic. Can't be too far off.
I mean, we have a continent split here, so we see big damage. Oh,
we
Kirania
do.
thinking about it. Will he stay?
Oh, it's a tricky one. New York versus south side of Birmingham. Let's see who's gonna get it. It is gonna be in the UK. Big points coming through here for Kirania. Round 13600 point hit. This one could be over before we know it. Clement was up 1-0, looking confident. And now, things are looking to go against him.
Yeah, very nice solve by Kirania there. Even getting the right country there in the UK. Makes sense with the wooden pole. But now we are back into a tricky round. I'm not really sure where we are. We do have this fence, which you usually get in Sulawesi, in Indo and Philippines. But the pavement looks very weird to me. Not sure how the players will go about this one. Maybe hedge in the middle? Who knows?
I'm gonna go Colombia. Just to say something.
And we do have Philippines, and we have Indo Harbor, both I mentioned.
Yeah, they're both looking towards the east. Southeast. Clement is there with him. 5 seconds to make your decision, my man. Now zooms all the way out, goes Thailand. Big decisions made in the last couple of seconds, and he's going to be off again. Is this going to be enough, though? Is this a two-rounder? No, not quite, but Clement playing with fire, down to under 1,000 health now with Kirania, still yet to take any damage.
Yeah, and the first thing I mentioned in the round was Sulawesi, and none of them opting to go that. I feel like that would have been kind of the default guess, just based off the fence, but none of them deciding to go with the obvious guess. And we are back, I think. Very interesting pavement, though, for Indonesia here.
Kirania goes towards Jakarta. They both do. Central Java it is. So this time around, at least, for Clement. Whew! A bit of a breather. A bit of a breather. It really does. I mean, with it being an NPC as well, and the multiplier stack, and those 870 won't keep him alive for long. If he starts losing more rounds here. Nice, beautiful coastal location here, though, for round 4. What are you thinking, Siggy?
Okay, I'm kind of stumped on this. I think we are in the East Nusa Island somewhere because the hills are very dry and we do have an island in the distance, so
Okay.
I would not be surprised if somebody scans for this and finds it, but as of right now, both kind of looking around still. And Kirania opting to hedge in the water.
Hedging? Okay.
I don't know if I like that because I feel like it doesn't get that dry anywhere else other than in the Nusas.
Hedging, of course, being when you're in doubt with two locations, you kind of go in between the two, so you probably won't win the round, but at least your loss will be minimal. Clement commits south. If it's north, it's going to be off, but it wasn't. Clement closer once again, staying alive here, slowly ticking away at the health of Kirania.
Yeah, Kirania opting, for the chicken method, just, playing it safe there, but you can't play it safe over and over, but now we are in his home country. We are in Australia. Hard to explain here, I mean...
Though, in this round in particular?
Sorry, what?
Does that benefit him, you think, in this round in particular? Is there any
because I
specific
think
knowledge?
This looks like potentially Western Australia, and he is from Western Australia. He's from Perth. So,
yeah.
I would imagine it helping a bit. This looks like new coverage, so he might have looked at it.
He was literally there yesterday. He was the one that drove the Google car. Clement is further east. You said it's West Australia. If that's true, that will be Clement done for as this round comes through. We'll see if it's going to be right or wrong. It is going to be West Side, and that should be Clement down and out. Indeed, it will be. He was ahead 1-0, but the Dane falls to the Australian in his home country. Kirania able to net himself a 2-1 win.
Yeah, pretty wild NMPZ game there. We did start off with a banger round in the UK where we had a continent split, and then the Indonesia round also 2 wrong country guesses. So yeah, Kirania taking it, being down 1-0.
And leading into it, I mean, the Brazil guess, the one round slam in the no move game, I think that maybe stumbled or stunned, I should say, Clement a bit. Was never able to really turn things back from there. Because of it, he falls. But good thing for Clement, I hope at least, good thing for him is that he's going to have to now mental reset, because he is going straight from a Kirania loss into a match against Debre. Debre we know to be a very, very talented player who is fighting for one of the top spots right now, if my memory of the leaderboard is correct. So insta mental reset and get ready for this Debre match to come.
Yeah, if Clement wants to win this, he definitely has to put an even better performance up in the next game, because Kirania was the warm-up and he already lost the warm-up. But the main opponent, Debre, is coming, and Debre is not making it easy. Debre usually not many mistakes in his gameplay, and if he gets US on moving, it's over for Clement, so yeah.
Sometimes they say that a perfect warm-up means a bad premiere. We'll see if that's going to be the same thing here, or if it's going to be the other way around. In the meantime, as you can see down below, Spaghetti was able to take out Ammani 2-0, so 3 more points for the Japanese player, as he also continues to climb his way up the leaderboard. But we are now going to go take a short break, so stick around and get ready for Debre versus Clement in just a few.
Dear fans of GeoGuessr, it's time for us to explore the world. Come and support your favorite players as they fight it out in the virtual boxing ring. The prize? A ticket to the World Cup. This year's major locations are Japan, inside the iconic Tokyo Tower. United States at DreamHack Dallas, one of the largest gaming festivals in the world. And finally, Sweden at the newest gaming festival, Glitched, in Jönköping. Go to geoguessr.com/World Cup for more information. We will see you there.
I got a chance to see Blink lift the trophy after that insane grand final. With 2025 right around the corner, I have an idea.
GeoGuessr 2025 World Cup? Denmark? Let me show you what Copenhagen has to offer. We have historic buildings, world-class dining. We got the best beer in the world. Presumably, I welcome you to Copenhagen in the KB Hall, the venue of the 2025 GeoGuessr World Cup Finals.
Welcome back, everyone, to the GeoGuessr World League broadcast. I'm Toby, joined by Siggy, and we are just moments away from getting into the next matchup between Debre and Clement. Now, we just saw Clement look very, very good in the moving round, but then struggled in no move and NMPZ against Kirania. Now, Siggy, how do you think the competition is going to be different for Clement moving from Kirania into an opponent like Debre?
Well, he will have it harder on pretty much every mode other than maybe NMPZ, where they are similar, but moving will be very tough for him, especially against Debre. Debre very good in the US, knows a lot of very niche stuff in a lot of countries, so... And is also just very familiar with moving, because it used to be the main mode for competitive, and now you can just queue NMPZ, but back in the day you couldn't do that, because you just could play moving.
True.
So it gives, the old players a bit of a head start in the moving, feeling comfortable with moving around. So I definitely see Debre on top there, but from there, Clement can still put on a show, maybe in the no move in the NPZ. And as we saw, anything can really happen in any mode, so whether I say that is true and what will happen, we'll see.
We will have to wait and see, yeah, true. Here we see the statistics for both players. Win rate, of course, quite a bit higher on the side of Debre so far than on Clement. As we see the statistics, guessing time somewhat even, but as you say, Debre's precision just that much better so far. And I'm a little bit torn, not gonna lie. Clement being Danish, I have to support him, of course, but I'm also wearing the Debre swag hat, so I'm kind of on Team Debre as well in this matchup. We'll see. We'll have to wait and see how this one's gonna pan on out. As, well, currently, quite a few spots sit between him, but it's a grand total of 20... No, make that actually not that much. It's 12 points separating them two.
12 points of 4 wins.
Yeah.
Quick maths.
Yeah. We'll see now who's going to come off to the best start here. Let's get into game number 1.
Yeah, and it seems like it's a tradition today, because we do start game number 1 off in Italy, just as the game versus Kirania, so... Maybe Clement has learned something in that one, but this seems like the Po Valley this time, because it is flat as a pancake.
Flat as a pancake. Indeed, just on the northwestern side of Venice. Debre was there. 400 damage is what's going to kick us off here in this matchup. Coming into round number 2 now. Debre off to a good start with his ghostly avatar. Ghost versus Hot Dog. I don't know who would win in that fight, but I guess this game will tell us.
Yeah, GeoGuessr are really going overboard with the avatars recently. You can be a hot dog now.
I like it. I like it. Just, you know what?
Me too.
Creativity for the people. I'm all for it.
I'm also there for it.
Close one once again between the two guesses here, at least somewhat. But still, Brazil, big country, means usually, even in smaller, like early rounds, big damage can come through. And just like that, 2 rounds in, Clement set 1200 health lower than where we started off things, as we now go to the Nordics.
Yeah, we are in the GeoGuessr country itself. We are in Sweden with the short dashes on the side of the road, but can somebody find a bus stop, because they are regional? Usually bus stops very helpful.
Clement.
Meanwhile, Clement doesn't care.
When in doubt, go Stockholm. We'll see if that's going to pay off or not. Debre looking to go a bit further towards the west, potentially. Looking south, nope, not quite to be. Will up to log on in. They're both going to be somewhat similar in distance, just 160 damage, but still, Clement taking away the chance for Debre to get himself a flawless win in this one. Maybe a start of more to come, as he gets himself ready here for round number 4.
Yeah, and we are in Turkey, and we see a big difference in score here. Not sure how many rounds that's based on, but 3.8k.
I think it's at least 2.
Oh, okay.
So, could just be that Debre has had that many more rounds in the country, but we'll see.
2 is more than 1, I learned at school, so...
That is true. Quick math.
And I quite like Clement's guess here with the mountain here. Ooh, very different guess.
Yeah, looking to go much further east and north on this one. We'll see who's going to be closer in it. It's going to be almost right in between the two. Could have been huge damage come through, but at the end, it's just going to be 250. But once again, a swing in Clement's favor. Looking to try and claw back here early on and even things up a bit more as we get into round number 5.
And we are back in Brazil. We are not leaving this country behind. And we do have an area code instantly 91, which should be Belém, I imagine. And we also had some acai palms, which kind of confirms that as well.
A lot of info available, a lot of text written on the walls, but not necessarily all of it very relevant to try and locate the exact position you're in. It's just about discounts, different shops. That's the difficulty of GeoGuessr. Even when you're in big urban areas, it's this all, like, what do you call it? It's reading through all the gibberish text and figuring out all the actual info, like useful text. When you only have a minute to work with, you gotta be smart about it, as they both have found. Well, I was gonna say the city, but it seems like it's a small city just outside of Belém proper. So 200 damage gone to Clement for all the OCD people out there. Clement nicely now set at 4600 exactly.
Yeah, maybe he can keep it at that one in this round. We are in Bulgaria. And now the question is, does anyone know the town names on these signs?
Or do you randomly find them with a quick scan? The eyes playing the scan 200 cities at the same time. Lottery. Debre's gonna be close. 14 kilometers away from it, that is. As with the multipliers ramping things up, damage is only gonna increase. Almost 1,000 damage done to Clement there. Now taking us into round number 7.
Yeah, nice read there by Debre. He read the town name. And now I said US is very good for Debre, and we are in an urban environment, so that should be good for him. He is struggling with the movement right now, it seems.
I'm not
or
sure.
maybe
His hand in the air, a little frustrated.
And instantly finds an area code.
Convenient.
I mentioned it earlier, he learned them, so probably gonna be quite confident on that one. And
both in Utah. He's found Circleville as well. Clement, not found the city just yet. If this is the exact location for Debre, this could be huge. Clement is going south as well, though. Debre is on it. Debre is exactly on point. First 5k of the day comes through. It's not going to amount into too many points, but still, like to see it. Debre out there showing off here in round number 7, now taking us into round number 8.
And we are not leaving this country. We are back in Brazil once again. And now the hunt goes on for the area code. And Clement opts out to not look for anything and leaves it up to... Oh, but Debre finds something. 16. Does he know? Does he know where in Sao Paulo the 16 is?
We'll see if it does. Neither of them exactly on point, but Debre a little bit closer. I like the change of pace here, though. Even if it's gonna mean that Clement takes 300 damage, it's Clement has been very, I don't want to say slow, but allowing a lot of time to go off the clock before he's been guessing in the both against Kirania earlier and now against Debre here too. So smart on his side, I think, to go for a quick guess here for the first time for him.
Yeah, he made some quick guesses early on and then kind of stopped because the multiplier started. And it's very tough to, you know, be confident again. And now we see a zoom into France by Clement. Even though we are in Spain, we just saw a sign that indicates Spain. And he has a road number, I'm pretty sure, so he will be very close.
Clement actually has put his marker down in Spain, but is looking in France. I'm not sure if that's just like graphic bamboozle. You can see he's getting up there close to the border. And he's gonna stay down there as well. But Debre, wow, almost exactly on point. He might actually just be on the exact road as well. And that's gonna be enough for Debre to set himself apart, get himself the win in round number 1. Or game 1,
that is exactly the Debre I would have imagined to show up today. Just a very clinical gameplay in the moving, no mistakes really, finding information every round. And meanwhile, Clement doesn't want to play that game of finding information against Debre, so he opted out for some insta-sending in some rounds, and at the end of the day, I mean, Debre just deserves to win that one.
Yep.
But now, no move, no more moving.
No more moving. We'll see if Clement can claw back in it. It's he was a little bit on the struggle bus against Kirania early. It looked good initially, but then there was that one big round where he went Brazil when it was in fact in Thailand or something, I believe, and that mega swung things against him. So we'll see if he can turn things around here.
Yeah, now the big questions becomes, are we in Western Australia or South Australia, or maybe even Queensland? It is very hard to say here. We do see Debre's guess in the middle of nowhere on the border between Western Australia and South Australia. But this is not easy. I kind of like more Queensland here.
See, chat seems divided in their opinions as well. So who's gonna get it? As Clement is now looking to go all the way east. 4 seconds still left to try and change his mind that it is gonna be on the eastern side of things. Out in Queensland it is, and a massive round 1 hit, taking Debre down and under half health. What a swing.
What a swing, and Debre can be lucky to be even sitting here still, because in any other round that's pretty much the game instantly.
True.
As we go into another big country, it seems. Or maybe it's Ukraine. I did think Russia first, but maybe the car
Some
is
might argue
red.
Ukraine is a pretty big country too.
Ukraine is pretty big, actually, I think. Ukraine is probably twice the size of Germany, so...
I'm not even gonna mention anything about Denmark in this regard, as they were both in Ukraine, and rightly so. Minimal damage come through, but still, Clement sat unscathed at 6,000 health into round 3.
And maybe we are in the home country. No, we are in Romania. These Poles are not Hungarian, sadly. Maybe Debre would have been happy to see some Hungary coming up. That being said, the roofs look kind of western, so we shouldn't be too much in the east of Romania. I would say middle or western-ish. And that's kind of where Debre is heading right now.
Yep. Set up comfortably in the northwest. We'll see if Clement is going to join him. He has 12 seconds to second guess himself. It has worked against him a couple of times thus far. Micro adjustments there in the end got him ever so much closer to the target, which now sets Debre down to 2,000 health. Clement playing incredibly well right now. And Debre starting to get a little frustrated, it seems. He is a very momentum-heavy player. He can obviously always swing things around, but we have seen it before, where when things start going against him, frustrations can get the better of him.
Yeah, it's a common thing in the GeoGuessr community of people tilting, but I feel like Debre has enough experience to not do that. I say that, but you know, it still happens here and there. But we just saw the prediction saying Clement will come out victorious on this because he has a very high score on Argentina, and this is a tough round. This seems like a very noble road because it's still Gen 3. That being said, none of them really seem very sure.
See, 18 seconds to work with. They're both scanning the border between Argentina and Chile. Now pretty much fully committed to Argentina. Both up there in the northern end of it. It's going to be minimal distance in between them, but still big enough country that it could be big, and it is going to be way further down towards the south, and 900 damage will come through onto Clement. So there goes the flawless potential win. Now it's at 5,040.
That was a tricky one. As we go into this one, I feel like we are back in Europe. It seems like both of them are sure it's Spain, and I agree with them. We do have these palm trees and this vegetation. Plates don't look like they have double blues, so it shouldn't be Italy. So not much really left here. Maybe Greece or Spain, and the buildings look way more Spanish.
3 times multiply could be a big hit on Debre. I think it would require, I mean, for sure a country gone wrong or guessed wrong for Clement to fall in this round. But very border for him to be able to take 5,000 damage in this round. He is looking down towards the very southwest, at least initially. Debre somewhat joining him a bit closer towards Madrid proper. 5 seconds left to work with. Debre is going to log in. Clement is further southwest, almost on the Portuguese border. We'll see if it's going to pay off for him. And it will. He is going to be closer. It was in Portugal.
Yeah. Didn't really consider Portugal there because we did have some very dry landscape, and we were in Gen 3, and usually in Gen 3 you still have the yellow on the plate in Portugal, and none of them saw it, so it was logical for me to be just Spain. And yet again, back again, good old Brazil. Seems like the country of the day.
True. We have had a lot of games gone there. A lot of info on this side. Not sure if it's useful information. If you can read the small print in the bottom, maybe there's a dress for you to be found. Maybe not. Debre right now on the struggle bus. 700 health to work with. And Brazil, a massive country, 1 state off. And that's easily 700 damage taken.
Well, I don't know if you trust that sign because it says Banco da Amazonia, which could be the Amazon state, or maybe the entire Amazon, so I'm not sure which one's referring to. That being said, it definitely seems like out there somewhere, very far northwest.
Hovering Rondonia, Clement is that much further north. This could easily be game in Clement's favor should he be able to win it, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough distance in between him for Clement to lose 5,000 health. We'll have to see. Last second change. Last second swing down towards the southwest, and it's going to pay off massively for him. What a flick of the mouse to get the win in it.
That was really last second there, and I feel like if he didn't switch, that would have been a massive hit towards his, maybe even the game for Debre.
Yeah, could have been game.
Could have been. Manaus is very far
times
away.
Multiplier.
So, very impressive last second switch there by Clement. And that means we are heading into the NMPZ, but Debre is wearing the NMPZ cap.
Oh, he is, and I am too. So does that mean we win as well? Yes, I like it.
Yes, sir.
How's the NMPC avatar? How's the NMPC hat? And now he's got himself the NMPC game mode to play. And what a start on this one. Seems like Debre is initially going to look towards the US-Canadian border up towards Toronto. And Clement is right there with him.
Yeah, we do have the Ontario pole there, and also usually in the US, every road angle is always north-south if it's flat. So both of them probably gonna click near Toronto somewhere, I would imagine.
Minimal damage was taken in round one, as they both sat pretty much on top of one another, and they are actually almost. Oh, that could have been a. Well, it's very unlikely that would have been a 10k, but you never know. You never know when you get the double 5ks happening randomly on your screen. But a solid 45 damage start to kick things off here.
Ooh, and this is, I think, a Sri Lanka, yes. I've definitely seen a reservoir similar to this. But this is not an easy Sri Lanka, I would say.
Chris down there.
This can be very hard, because I could also see maybe a Thailand here, but I think Sri Lanka is correct.
Debre insta-zoomed. So he felt confident. Clement now joining him as well.
Nice one.
Yep. Good guesses on both of them. And it goes to show. I mean, that's the crazy thing to me. I mean, obviously, you have thousands and thousands of games played in GeoGuessr, and these guys do too. But when you can recognize a specific reservoir, I'm like, okay, so how many reservoirs are there in the world that would look similar to that one, but not completely identical? Probably hundreds. And still, you can pinpoint Sri Lanka. That's absolutely amazing. As they now both go Kazakhstan. Similar locations as well. And Clement don't want to allow him to line it up, but he wasn't have to.
Okay.
What a scent from Clement.
Yeah, that's just the Danish genes there paying off.
Yeah, I guess so. Incredible round. So now going to round number 3.
And we're back in the Americas, back in US or Canada. Clement had me worried there for a second, not sure why he zoomed into Europe, but it sometimes happens in your brain. You zoom into the wrong thing. The amount of times I zoomed onto, like, different parts of the world that don't have coverage.
I do that all the time.
Well,
let's see now. These guys should know better, and I think they do, as Clement now is fully zoomed in the water. Hopefully that's going to change. Zooms out a bit again. I like the change. And they're, I mean, pretty much on the exact same countryside.
Yeah, this feels like Ontario, but a very tough round here. Very bad road quality, so...
Debre is going to swing further east now. Ooh. He still has 9 seconds to go even further. You can see the micro adjustments with the mouse there. Clement is committing to the west side of Toronto, where they both were initially, and it is going to be all the way up in Winnipeg.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, there's a lot of lakes in Manitoba, but usually they're not that rocky, I would say. So, pretty tough to get that one, I have to imagine. As we go into Turkey, it seems.
Yep, Turkey is on at least both these two players' monitor. What on screen tells you Turkey in this round?
Just the road quality and this car. I don't know what type of car that is, but I see that a lot in Turkey. All white lines also, especially with a solid middle line. But I think the road, like pavement, is the best indicator. It is Gen 3 though, so I would go more west.
That's what Clement has done. At At least initially. Debre set on the east side of Ankara. He's further towards the west, and it's going to pay off once again. Both of them with a bit of a distance to the location, but with damage multipliers stacking, damage follows suit. Debre now sat just over 2,300, but with an NPC and 3.5 times multipliers, these games can come to an end very quickly.
Yeah, this looks like the new Oman coverage. But how to reach and guess urban Oman is a mystery to me. To me, this seems just like a town on the north coast. So Debre is going very risky here because I think the odds are that it's just some town on the north coast. Because we don't see anything north. And he locks it in.
He locks it in.
Wow.
Southeastern coast, Dokkum, I believe the city was called. As Clement is looking to go further up to the northern side of Muscat, and it's going to be better off for him. Still not going to be quite enough for game, even with the multipliers, but it's getting very close. Debre now sat under 1k health. Clement fell to Kirania earlier, now up against Debre, who sat in the top 10 on the leaderboards. My oh my, this is getting close.
My oh my, and what a round to possibly end the game on for Clement. We are in the Philippines, it seems like, with this house here on the right and also the pavement. But we see Debre going very risky in the north, and I don't dislike going north here because it seems a bit more dry.
When you're up against the wall, like Clement is, or like Debre is right now, sometimes you need some crazy guesses to come through. This one, though, pretty much identical distance to the location for both of them, but, you know, even if it's 160 points, it can still be the big difference maker in the end. Round 8 is now upon us. 3 rounds left for Debre to try and claw back in this game.
And he is getting big countries, it seems. It seems like Argentina again. And honestly, it doesn't look too different from the vegetation we just had. So he is going actually very close to the location we just saw. And Clement also eyeing kind of Neuquén, Mendoza border region. He is going way more south, though. He's going the south end of the province and not the northern end. And it's going to be in the middle.
Oh, this could have been game either way, I feel like. Potentially, at least. But small damage chipped off of Debre's health bar, which already isn't all that big. Now sat at 850. We'll see how much longer he can stay alive. Debre needs something big to go his way in order to bring this one home now. And I don't think this round is going to be it with how much these guys are both looking towards the Peruvian-Ecuador border. And it's going to be Clement, completely on point in this round, taking it home, beating Debre, who was sat in 9th place overall. Much needed points here for Clement.
Yeah, that was a clinical NMPZ game by Clement. I think it's also the mode he is playing the most. I've seen him queuing 4 NMPZ games at the same time, just playing them against top players and winning. So I think it's the mode he's most comfortable on, but also he was playing very well in the no-move mode. Yeah. Making that last-second switch on the Brazil round was very crucial for him. That could be very bad for him if he stays in Manaus. So very well played.
Definitely could have been a tough one. And also, I mean, we just saw him lose a game that had everything going his way against Kirania, and then just 2 big swings and he was down and out. To be able to mentally reset and come in and then play this well against a guy like Debre, incredibly well done by Clement there in order to turn things around and net himself some much needed points on this leaderboard. But that's them done for in this matchup. We're gonna go straight into the next game, which is gonna be Yanik versus Malfunction. Talk to me a bit about these players.
Well, another sorcerer's
and be
costume.
fast about it, because the game is starting now.
Well, Malfunction very good at moving, but they lost a single point.
Wait, 1 point?
In the moving
Did he
mode.
5k and she got 49999? Is that what happened?
Maybe she did, yeah.
Okay,
But
this
you
is going to
see-
be a long one, guys. We're doing single-digit damages all the way to the end.
Yeah. No, she did not start with 1 HP less. There was just a single round we missed.
we
sadly,
got it.
because
We
other
joined
round
the
was very
party in
long.
round 2.
Yeah, but as you see, 2 rounds done. We have 10 points of damage on the board, and so basically nothing happened.
Nope, we didn't miss a whole lot. It might have been a Denmark round that we missed, but even if so, we're happy to be here. Round 3 is upon us in this matchup between Yanik, who we already saw play once today, up against Malfunction.
Yeah, very interesting to see here. Yanik is, you know, also moving. I would maybe expect to just see him insta-send in this game, because I think if he plays the game of moving against Malfunction, Malfunction will come up on top.
Well, so
But
far
that's
you'd
just
be
my,
right by
that's just
8
my
points.
prediction.
I like it. That's your prediction, chat. Let us know what your predictions are as well. As Yanik has looked into in Romania. Seems like he's going to fully commit to it. Malfunction there to follow, but quite a bit further towards the east.
I like the Eastern guess.
See if she's going to be right about it. Indeed she is. Good win on this one. As 1900 damage will come through. A lot of damage for a round 3 guess, especially when they're both in the same country as well. Setting Yanik up just over 4k health.
Yeah, Romania, not really the country you want to lose 2k points on early on. And we see another Argentina. Now the question is it new coverage or not? And we see a very good sign on Malfunction screen with town names and the kilometer numbers to them. So this could be another big hit if she gets this one.
And it could be. Looking to go East Coast initially. A lot of city information on this sign as well. You have the city
now the quick
specific, I
zoom
think
in.
she does.
Yeah, she does have it. But Yanik also found the road to
She's
Route
following.
25, so he could find it last second maybe.
He's a bit further east. Not that the distance is massive, but still, last second readjustment is going to send him a bit further left. Nope, might have gone back towards the east once more. Nonetheless, it's going to be Malfunction with a better guess. Almost a 5k. That could have probably lined it up if she wanted to, but either way, really, really good guess to kick us into round number 5.
Yeah, maybe Yanik is trying something sneaky here. Maybe trying to, lure her into false safe. Or like, just, moving on the early round and then insta-staying on a very late round when the multipliers are high. I
Maybe.
could see that happening, because some people tend to do that. As we see another quick lock-in by Malfunction. She's probably sure, because she saw a sign.
Yeah, a lot of info available right around the starting point. Nonetheless, Yanik is going to go a bit further towards the northeast, and, well, not going to pay off for him, unfortunately. It's going to be close to Zagavu, which is where Malfunction was sat. 1,300 damage done, taking Yanik down even further, now set at 2,200.
Yep, and so far, just a very clinical game by her. Not much Yanik can do, but he's also not, trying to insta-guess. And now we see another very information-heavy round, which just favors her even more.
Yep. Information found, enough of it to make a qualified guess. On the northern side of Peru, we have Yanik instantly following suit, though, found the 88. But opting to go a bit further towards the west side. Either way, it's not going to be too big of a distance in between the two guesses here. So damage shouldn't be all that massive either. 300 of that is going to set him down at just 1,900 exactly. But still, Malfunction, I mean, took 1 point of damage in the very first
And
round,
we
which we
missed
didn't
it.
even see.
And
so far, 7 rounds later, or 6 rounds later, I should say, she's at the exact same score still. But now, as you were saying, here
I
comes the
predicted
quick
it.
guessing from Yanik.
Exactly what I predicted to happen.
Yep.
Something people like to do. Lure them into faults, And now Malfunction has to work under pressure as well.
They're both in the same state, but Malfunction is way further towards the northwest. The good thing for her is that she's still going to be the closer, and that might just be enough. Indeed, it is. Yanik tried to change the pace, as you were saying, Siggy, but Malfunction is not to be rivaled with. Great turnaround, great adjustment there with no time to really make that happen. Now victorious in game number 1.
Yeah, but is Malfunction really happy after losing 1 point? It's not even a flawless, come on.
It is it's the most flawless, not flawless you could have.
Yeah,
I
pretty
just
much.
really want to know what happened in round 1. We'll have to ask. We'll have to ask at some point later.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we'll get her into the view.
We will have to wait and see as we now get ourselves into no move. A lot of info available here once more as we
Toby?
go to Denmark. I like it. I like what I'm seeing. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing a city I think I've been to before, and usually that tells me that we're in Jutland. Not that I haven't been to Jutland, but I haven't been there all that much. Yanik looking to go Zealand for a little bit, opting to go southeast of Randers, and it will be in Viborg. Fair enough. I've been to Viborg once or twice, but not enough to know every road there, I guess.
I drove through it for sure, but don't think I stopped there really.
I've gone on a hike from Viborg once. It was very nice. It's a road, the old travel
Do you
road.
call it hiking? And
Well, I mean, okay, I went for a walk in the forest. That's technically a hike regardless of the landscape.
I mean, to me, yes, but only if it's above a certain kilometer mark. But as we just saw, it's pretty easy Tucumán because we have sugarcane, and that's the only place in Argentina where you get sugarcane. Good to know.
There you go. There you go.
Never mind.
Even in guessing, but same distance to the location, 300 kilometers off. It's gonna net them a total 14 damage done to Malfunction, with now this time being Yanik, the one sitting in a flawless score line. We'll see for how long he can maintain it, or if he's gonna be able to maintain it all the way through.
Oh, Wismar. That's on the... That's near
Ready for the
Leipzig.
5K. Give it to us, Siggy.
It's near Leipzig, I think.
Function defaulting capital.
Is it not near
See if it's
Leipzig?
gonna
Where's
pay off or
Wismar?
not. He is looking towards Leipzig, Yanik. It's his home turf. We'll see if he's gonna get
Oh no,
rewarded
it's
for it.
north of Schwerin. It's on the north coast. It's north... Oh, it's up there. It's on the north coast.
There we go.
Oh
Function.
my God.
Better off Yanik going, oh, I lost in Germany. You kidding me? Frustrating. Frustrating. You don't get a lot of the rounds where it should be working in your favor. But for him there, not quite the case.
Especially with a town name and a knowable one as well. As we go back into this one, my initial thought was Australia, because we just have a big parking lot. But nothing else really.
Is that what tells you it's Australia? The fact that there's a big parking lot?
Yeah. I'm just
When
gonna
in
say
doubt,
yes.
if you see a parking lot, just insta-set Australia. Well, they both did, but with quite a bit of distance in between them, that's going to be a lot of damage gone the way of Yanik here in this round. So now, coming in to round number 5, you would really want to start clawing back, because we've seen it before. Once Malfunction gets that lead, she tends to keep it.
Yeah, and we are back in the US here. These houses seem very Appalachian, so we should be somewhere West Virginia, Kentucky, that kind of region. We don't have any southern pines, so shouldn't be too far south here. But let them figure it rest.
It's fortunate that's their job. We'll know in
Yep.
10 seconds. As Malfunction goes further north, sitting up right next to Yanik once again. I feel like when one is far off, they're usually, or well, I should say when they're both far off, they're usually far off together. Both sat in and around the exact same location, so minimal damage once more comes through as we go into round number 6.
And what a round it is. We are back in Russia. We see the prediction coming in. Yanik better in Russia, apparently. But that being said, this does not seem like an easy round. We do have some birch trees there, which makes it not very far south, because my initial thought was Malfunction is plonking right down, because that's kind of where you get this very flat landscape. But birches, you don't really see that far south, I think.
Yanik lining up close to Kharkiv. He's going to stay there as well. Malfunction sits further south, but it's actually going to be Yanik closer to the exact location. 1,500 damage done, as they were both off by a bit. And I think for Yanik, he knows even if he wins this round, gets 1,500 damage done to Malfunction, that could have been a lot more had he up to go further east.
Yeah, he had a very committed guess there, so if he just goes a bit more central, he picks up even more points. As we go into the neighbor of Russia, we go into Ukraine here with the red car. We do have spring coverage, which is more prevalent in the west, so that is where Yanik is trying to send here. And I say west, and we see a max east plonk by Malfunction, but now adjusting.
Yep, last second readjustment. Good thing at that. Still gonna be damage gone her way, but a lot less than what it could have been had she opted to go all the way to the east. So now, kind of as Yanik wanted, coming into the later rounds in the game, things starting to look a lot more tied up than what they did just a couple of rounds ago. 3 potentially left to play as we sit here in round 8, and Yanik takes us to Japan. What tells you Japan in this?
The low camera, but also the trees, I would imagine.
Okay, both towards Tokyo. Indeed, that's exactly where it was. Now things, really couldn't be more tied up. Yanik, after 4 rounds, 1 in a row, now sits with the lead. He was up against Malfunction at 5-9-9-9-9, but able to claw back as good as can be with 2 rounds left to play.
And we are back in Japan. We do see a Tohoku plate there, so should be where Yanik is right now, the northern part. And he's going very far east. He maybe has seen coast to the east.
both there. Once again, it's Yanik. What a clawback we've seen in this round now. Maintaining the lead. Able to do so as we now get into round number 10. Yanik, I mean, again, he was down, what, over 2,000 points just before. But a lot of rounds won. A lot of rounds gone in his favor. And now the final round with 600 points between the two.
This is good for him, I think, because we are... Wait.
Oh, she's gone Philippines.
Wait, I think this... I think that's Peru.
Peru, Philippines, no change on the face of Malfunction. Feeling confident in the guess it is gonna be. What? What? They're laughing. Oh, well, at least Malfunction is.
I mean, it is a pretty funny way to win there because she just instantly slammed it down in Philippines.
She won by being almost 2,000 kilometers off.
Yeah.
What?
I was kind of on the side of Yanik, but then it's just Indonesia I didn't really consider at the start, so yeah. I'm kind of stumped right now, to be quite honest.
Usually, when someone is 15,000 kilometers off, and the other one is off by thousands as well, that's not the game-winning round. But in this case, it being round 10 and everything, you can both be off by quite the margin, and you can still come up victorious with it. What a round. Again, I mean, I like the way that that Yanik was starting to claw back into the one a lot of rounds in a row, putting the pressure on. And even here, I mean, that could have gone both ways. They were both off by such a margin that anyone with a just somewhat qualified guess in this last round, I know it was a very difficult round, so nothing against either of their guesses, just it really came down to that very last round there with it being so close.
Yeah, not the way, you know, she wants to take the game, but a win is a win in her books. So that's going to be 3 points for her.
What a round.
And we do see another result coming in. Blinky beating Strefan 2-0. So
yeah,
the Blinkster still online. Even though Strefan, a pretty fierce opponent, it has to be said. The last few weeks by Strefan were quite impressive. So not an easy feat, but, you know, Blinky makes it look easy, as always. And we do see another fellow French playing in the next game.
Yeah, Katsu up against Lero in our next time slot starting in just about 10 minutes. And then we got Debre playing Malfunction just after that. Debre with a loss against Clement earlier, and then Malfunction off of the win that she just had against Yanik. It's going to be an interesting match to see. But before that, we're going to go take a short break. So stick around, and we'll be back with Katsu and Lero in just a moment.
Dear fans of GeoGuessr, it's time for us to explore the world. Come and support your favorite players as they fight it out in the virtual boxing ring. The prize? A ticket to the World Cup. This year's major locations are Japan, inside the iconic Tokyo Tower. United States at DreamHack Dallas, one of the largest gaming festivals in the world. And finally, Sweden at the newest gaming festival, Glitched, in Jönköping. Go to geoguessr.com/World Cup for more information. We will see you there.
I got a chance to see Blinky lift the trophy after that insane grand final. With 2025 right around the corner, I have an idea.
GeoGuessr 2025 World Cup. Denmark. Let me show you what Copenhagen has to offer. We have historic buildings. World-class dining. We got the best beer in the world. Presumably. I welcome you to Copenhagen and the KB Hall, the venue of the 2025 GeoGuessr World Cup Finals.
Welcome back from the brief break there. Hope you got everything you needed to get ready for these next matches to come. I'm Joby, joined by Siggy, and we've just seen a very, very exciting game between Malfunction and Yanik, which went Malfunction's way. So good on her for winning that game. And now a lot of you people might wonder, so GeoGuessr, we got the World League going, but what are these guys really playing for? As you can see on your screens right now, the regional majors have been announced. APAC one will take place in Tokyo, the Americas one will take place in Dallas, and the EMEA one will take place in Jönköping at the Glitched Gaming Festival. So you have them there. Also, the finals, the World Cup finals have been announced, played in Copenhagen in the last weekend of August. So the 29th and 30th, they will be taking place there. And you can get your tickets already over at geoguessr.com/World Cup. Not only that, but you too can add to the prize pool of the World Cup finals by subscribing on Twitch. So if you sub on Twitch, you add to the prize pool, and with your subscription, you partake in the raffle, where one winner every week will be picked out from the new subscriptions coming in, and they will get themselves a GeoGuessr goodie bag sent to them, in which you can get all kinds of super cool things. So if you're subbed here on the channel, not only are you adding to the prize pool, but you also got to make sure to check your DMs, because there is a chance that you might win. And I can tell you already now that the winner of last week was Pal, PALVK. So if you haven't already checked your DMs from the mods that would have sent or written to you, make sure to do so already. I have some of the merch here. You can get this hat, you can get that hat, you can
Or this shirt.
You can get that shirt here. Is this the same one that I have here? This one with the big brain on the background?
Yeah, and there's one more that I also...
There is still exactly a lot of cool stuff that you can win by simply subscribing here on Twitch. And also, up on top, you can see it's up there. If you want to go see in the EMEA tournament, in the EMEA regional major that is taking place in Jönköping this summer, if you want to go watch that tournament take place, you can get yourself a 20% discount. Whether you get the 3-day pass or the 1-day pass, just use the code GeoGuessr, and you get a discount for the Glitched Gaming Festival. So a lot of cool stuff coming your way. We got the online league, we got the regional majors, we got the World Cup finals. Oh, GeoGuessr, I mean, Seiki, you've been part of this community for a long time. I gotta say, as a, I guess, somewhat newcomer to the scene, I feel like GeoGuessr is in an amazing place. And for someone who has been there since the very grassroots was all that existed, how does it feel now seeing where this game has been taken to?
I mean, honestly, from very, humble beginnings, now we've reached a point where, you go to different continents to play tournaments. So honestly, it still feels surreal, because only 3 years ago, we pretty much started with like the Rainbow tournaments, which was like kind of like the tipping point of competitive. And now we made it all the way here in only 3 years, and we are only just starting. This is only like pretty much the second very professional World Cup.
And that's the thing, right? That's the thing. As big as it feels already, I have a feeling that it's only gonna get bigger from here. And what bigger can we bring in than the comeback champion himself, Katsu, taking on Lero in just a short moment. Let's take a look at some of the stats here. Katsu, guessing time a little higher than average, but with those guessing times being higher, so comes more qualified guesses, as he sat with a 52% win rate. Lero, though, up there as well at 59%. Sick.
Yeah, Lero definitely slept on, because he did not play very many games early on, so he was always towards the bottom of the table, but always with a very high win rate. And now he's climbing the table, and I think he's already on place number 10, if I'm not wrong, and exactly there he is. But between those two players, 10 and 21, are 6 points.
That's
so
insane.
2 wins. So
That's what we're
again,
talking about. Coming into the start of the broadcast, that entire mid portion of players you can see right there, as you said, Katsu can skip them all if he gets himself 2 wins today. And well, the first one could come through right now as we get game number 1 started.
Game number 1 started, and already with a prediction. Do see very quicksand here. We do have a lot of license plates here which could be used. We had a yellow one, it seemed, and a blue one. The yellow one could be New York.
Could be. That's where Katsu is going, at least. We'll see. He's going to be right. Nope, not quite the case. Lero on point. Down on the southern side, and 2,300 damage in round 1. That is a rarity.
And with an Instasend, you get 2.3k damage in first round is something you don't really see a lot.
Definitely. Now, into a moving round. Finally, Lero's car starts working. I was wondering for a while if it was broken, but here we go.
Well, my initial thought we were in Odessa, but it's kind of hard to see whether we have Ukrainian license plates or Russian ones. But this just seems like the road near Odessa, but as I said, can't really see the plates. Hard to make out.
Right, so going Samara Kamapa. That is probably not the way it's supposed to be pronounced, but that's how I'm gonna do it. All the way to the Volga River.
A lot of text here.
Yep. Can you dissolve it in time though? And you get all the info you need. 7 seconds left to work with now. Lero starts zooming in as well. They're both in and around the same area. Kratzu a bit further towards the north. He might have found it. Kratzu might have found it. And indeed he has. Just a bit off the side, but what a nice comeback. That took all 60 seconds of that round to make that readjustment. Oh, 59.99.
Yeah, both of them on the right river, but only one of them on the right dam. And as we go into another Turkey, also a lot of Turkey locations today, I feel like. Together with Brazil. And
you know what? I've had 2 Denmark rounds in one broadcast. I've gotten my fix of rounds in the same country. Even though both those rounds were rounds that I couldn't actually guess where we were, it's still nice. We'll see Lero up towards Ankara. Kratzu going Antalya instead. 2 big cities selected, but 2 big cities with quite a bit of distance in between him.
Yeah, and Kratzu does not seem sure he is even eyeing to Mersin there. But close guess.
Kratzu. Yeah, closer to Kratzu, definitely. As he starts clawing back, and as a matter of fact now sits himself in front. So despite taking 2,300 damage in the very first round, he's able to turn things around and now sits a little bit ahead of Lero.
And we are back in the US, it seems, and it seems like it's some kind of indigenous village, because we did have some very interesting names that didn't seem like English. The Zumi Craftsman. That seems very like, yeah, indigenous. Turquoise village.
Doesn't look very turquoise to me, not gonna lie.
Not really.
Lero locked in first. Kratzu follows a little later after, but both close to the location on the western side of Albuquerque.
And it is in the reservation, as you can see. It says something reservation there. Always a good clue if you see names that don't really match the English language. You're usually in those reservations. And we move on to a UK here with a lot of town names off the bat, but they are very very close. Skip. Okay.
Lero barely even zooming. He's just going, yeah, let's keep on going, guys. The lads can wait until later in the day. We want to keep those multipliers stacking. And even with longer time spent, Kratzu still ends up in and around the same area as Lero. As a matter of fact, Lero ends up being victorious, although it's only 200 points it amounts to.
A very even game here, and now anything can happen, really. The question is whether Lero still feels confident insta-sending on high multipliers, where a single mistake can mean the game. And I mentioned we don't leave Brazil today, and we are back in Brazil.
Yeah. Once again, quick pace in this one. Well aware that Kratzu likes to take more time to find these locations, but not really given a whole lot to work with. Has vegetation there, a bit of mountain in the distance. Oh, I thought he was swinging Africa initially, but he's going way further south in this one. This could be big, and it will indeed be. Lero's hunch pays off for him, and it could just be enough to be game. Indeed, it will be 8,000 damage taken, and Lero wins game number 1.
Yeah, and you saw Kratzu there with a disappointing stance after that one. Definitely feels like he could have done more in the 15 seconds. That he had more than him, but very impressive insta-standing on high multipliers. Not something that is easy, because one slip up is all it needs.
Exactly. I mean, you said it in the Yanik Malfunction game too, how Yanik was kind of playing it slow initially and then upping the speed later down the line. I feel like Lero kind of did the same thing here in the last 2 rounds. I mean, the UK round literally insta-sended, and this one too, very quick to the guess, and just Kratzu kind of left bamboozled in that one, as he is now going to be the first one to guess. Eastern side of Brussels is where he's taking us.
Yeah, I quite like Belgium here with the infrastructure. Almost gonna be Luxembourg there.
Still a little frustrated. Or maybe his forehead is itchy. I'm not sure. Katsu, get your head out of your hands. You can do this, my man. You can come back in this one. We've seen him come back in matches before. He's currently at 0-1 in round number 2.
Ooh, very nice occasion here with the sunset coverage. Quite like those type of coverages. Shout out to the Google drivers that do overtime and don't clock out at 5 p.m.
Oh, that's the next thing. We get night coverage.
There is night coverage in a few places.
But we have to be able to... We have to do all coverage twice so you can toggle it.
Oh, it's very tough because the lighting is very bad. Usually you don't see a few meters.
That just requires better cameras. I mean...
True.
That's
Come
all
on,
we
Google.
need. That's all we... Come on, Google. You can do better. Just a random AI filter. We'll see. We'll make it happen. In the meantime, these players gonna have to try and see if they can find this exact location. Lero, all the way down towards Cape Town. I'm starting to run out. 5 seconds left to work with. Neither of these guys seem fully confident in what we've got working. Katsu letting the time run out. Set a bit further towards the south, so damage shouldn't be all that big, but it's once again gonna be Lero closer.
Yeah, impressive guess there. Both of them similar region though. Very close to Cape Town, but Lero just reading the terrain a bit better there. And picking up 700 points. Keeping up the flawless as well.
Definitely.
And we do see the prediction here, which is weird because I thought we were just in Uruguay, but Katsu only 4k points in Uruguay. Seems like it has to be Argentina then.
Exact same province. I mean, their first marker put down was literally in the exact same spot.
Yeah. It looks like Uruguay, but it's not Uruguay. So where do you really go? On the border.
Usually that tells us that either they're both completely correct or they're both equally far from the border. And exactly as you were saying, Katsu literally found the line and just puts the marker straight down and don't make that Lero. Katsu still yet to make his guess.
Oh, he moved to Uruguay now, but still on the border.
Oh, further. Micro adjustments, sending him further and further into Uruguay, and his initial hunch should have been followed, because he was up there at one point, and now he's going to take 800 damage because he left.
Yeah, Lero really making it look easy here, but what people have to understand is Katsu won last year's EMEA competition, which is not an easy competition to win. He even beat Blinky. So that's what we're talking about right now. As we see another Portugal or Northern Spain here. What does it say exactly?
Ruta Dominio.
Well, that is definitely Portuguese, so...
I don't know why I said it with an Italian accent, but... Ruta Dominio! That's now how this area is pronounced.
I guess so. Well, there's a town called San Salvador, but not sure how...
Don't get fooled. Don't be
fooled.
fooled.
How findable that is. Could be Galician, and it's not Portuguese, actually.
Could be. They both sat on the northwestern side of Spain right now. Both hovering, both taking their time again. I mean, Lero really changing the pace here. Sometimes insta-sending it this time around, opting to slow things down completely. 5 seconds left to work with. They're going to let this clock run out. They're both, again, sat right next to one another. And for good reason. Both close to the location.
Yep. But another swing for Lero.
He's definitely starting to separate himself. 2,300 points ahead right now. And with the 1-0 lead already, pressure is building on Katsu's shoulders. We know he's a player that can handle it. Let's see now, as it seems to be like we're going a little close to where Lero likes to hang out.
Yeah, we are in his home country, and maybe he will be happy. We just saw the prediction saying Lero will be on top on this round, but this is not an easy round. This feels like either Victoria or South Australia. Just judging by the very dry soil, whitish soil, you don't really get that in any other place.
What are they looking for here? What are they hoping to see that could, like, 100% identicate the, at least...
A pole. Maybe like a Stobie pole for South Australia, or maybe Victoria concrete pole. That's kind of what they hope for, but it seems like there's no pole here.
No pole to be found. I mean, at least not that they can see here. Katsu gonna let the time run out. He's out towards the west as well, alongside Lero. Both close once again, but also, once again, Lero closer. Katsu now sat almost completely at half the health of Lero, just under 3k.
Yeah, this is very impressive because being closer every single guess is something that is very tough, especially on these rounds where you just have to have a hunch closer. But we just see the prediction coming in, 700 points more on the side of Katsu. So we're gonna be in Canada or the US. Not easy to tell which one it is. I think it is Canada though, because we do have these type of polls.
Katsu on the clock now, 7 seconds to work with, still yet to even open the map. Not looking too happy with what he's seeing thus far. 2 seconds to go now, opting to go all the way up to New Brunswick.
Yeah, he did spot the transformer in the very last second. It was facing the road, which only happens in New Brunswick and British Columbia. And it didn't look like British Columbia, so New Brunswick was the only thing that made sense. But Lero closer yet again. 6 rounds in a row, going into round 7.
4 more rounds for Katsu to work with to try and get back in the lead. Hopefully for him, of course, win the whole thing. But should he come down to round 10 with him being down 3,000 points, he is heavily relying on specific countries to come his way in order to get himself a win. And of course, this round right here could be one that gets him back in a good standing, as it does look like we're headed to Russia.
Yeah, we are in Russia, and this could be the game in either way, really. This does not seem like an easy round, and we see Lero with a very specific zoom in, so maybe he's thinking about something he has seen before. And Katsu, no pin down yet, doesn't have a real clue yet, it seems.
Now he does, southeast of Kirov. See if he's gonna fully commit to it or not. 5 seconds left to work with now. Neither of these guys opting to commit early on. Not too sure about their guesses. We have Lero a bit further towards the east. We'll see if he's gonna be paid off for it. He is once again. And this could actually be big and big enough for him to win it. Indeed, it will be. Lero able to 2-0 Katsu.
Flawless, no move game by Lero there.
Wow.
Winning the moving game in a very interesting
well.
fashion. Yeah, 7 rounds closer than Katsu. That is very impressive. And also the insta-sending on the moving rounds also paid off very well. We saw the US insta-send, big damage in the very first round and also in the last round in Brazil. Just very impressive. Playing both ends really. Taking his time in the no-move mode.
Rare for a player like Katsu to not be able to find any openings in the defense of Lero there. I mean, impressive performance. But of course, he's rocking the German football shirt, and their defense is pretty good. So maybe that's good. That's
yeah, the offense is not very good, but who needs an offense if you have a good defense, right?
Exactly. Interesting matchup there. I mean, again, we praise Katsu for his capabilities, but too, I mean, Lero, as you can see the leaderboards, he's playing incredibly well these days, and I guess in the grand scheme of things, no big surprise that he comes out with a 2-0 win, but in the fashion that he did, playing as flawlessly as he did, he could have gone up against anyone, I feel like, in that match and still come out victorious.
Yeah, I'm not sure who really beats him in that no-move game, especially in the very last round. That is a very specific road in Russia that he just knows, and we just instantly see him zoom in there, so it's very hard for Katsu just to win by vibes there, because sometimes in Russia it's either you know the road or good luck trying with your vibe there, but it was just not good enough.
Tricky one for sure, but that's one game down. We are going into the next one with 2 players we've seen today already. It's going to be Debre versus Malfunction. And, well, I mean, Debre is coming into it with a loss on his hands. Malfunction is coming in with a 2-0 win over Yanik just 2 games ago. Who do you have, Siggy, here as your candidate for a win?
I mean, I still have to go by Debre, just because I think the numbers really back it up as well. I think it was just an off game for him, and Clement played very impressively in the NMPZ mode, so that's how he won. I just don't see Malfunction really putting up with Debre in no move and NMPZ.
See Debre get their stats here. Update, of course, from the previous game. Sat with a 63% win rate. Still in the top 10, I believe, despite the loss in the previous round. And looking, of course, to climb even further up. Better stats than Malfunction, no doubt, but clearly not flawless. Can still be called up on, and Malfunction coming in with a win against Yanik earlier could just be enough to get her momentum swung past Debre. So, interesting matchup. Two players very even in the time they take to get their guesses going. But Debre coming in with a higher win rate, but a loss on the day. We'll see how that's going to play a factor.
Yeah, for Malfunction, big game yet again. I think if she gets a win streak going here, she is in for the race for the EMEAs, and with that anything can happen, because I may need to mention that the point system here is only the start, because they also compete for points in the regional majors, which add up. So Debre is trying to, to increase his lead from the 12th spot. Now he's 5 points ahead of it.
Yeah.
But he wants to increase it, so if he has a bad performance on the regionals, he still can balance it out. Yep. Meanwhile, Malfunction, barely on the verge of qualifying for the event itself, but, let's not waste any time. Let's get into this game, shall we?
Straight into it we go. As round one is underway, it looks to me like we are somewhere towards East Estonia. Yep. Isn't that one?
And I have not heard of these towns. I think Haapsalu is on the west coast. Yep. Haapsalu. No, wait. Yeah, it was just doubled. I was about to say it was not. That's not a town I remember.
Someone's laughing while writing city names. I like it. Ha ha. But no, not quite.
See, this just seems like the dream round for Malfunction to start off. Maybe with a nice little 5k. We have town names in both directions.
They're both taking their time.
But I think Debre found it, because it's a quite confident click there.
He found Tuba at least. We'll see if that's going to pay off. I mean, it should. Malfunction still not ready for the committing to zooming further in. Debre kicking things off.
No 5k.
With a almost 5k. Not quite there, but close enough.
Come on, Debre. Just do that one adjustment more and give us that 5k animation.
Yeah, exactly. He could have been further up towards the main street. Wasn't quite there. As a rare Malta may be coming in here.
Yeah, rare Malta, and it seems like Malfunction does not want to 5k this one. Just clicks.
Allows Debre a chance to, should he want to. It's minimal points to be found once you get an island like this locked down, but could be good. Oh, Debre was actually up there. I mean, again, grand scheme of things, not gonna matter too much. 78 points of damage.
No, 78 points.
Debre was up there. I mean, you know what? You say that now. In before Debre is gonna lose with 76 health left. Something like that's gonna happen now.
It can happen.
Yep,
it's not impossible.
We've seen less points than that be the difference maker before.
Now the question is, how confident is Debre on Argentinian phone codes?
About to find out. He's quickly to zoom in to Ferry.
And it does say Rio Negro province on Malfunction screen, so she knows which region she's in. And she is going to Nukin here. Yep.
They're
but
both
the thing is, yeah, Nukin is in a different province though, so you can't really go to the city itself. You have to go one of the smaller cities nearby.
Scanning around, looking for some of these big intersections of big city streets, trying to line up some cities, see what makes sense of the position that they're in. Debre still further towards the west side. You can see Malfunction is continuously looking back towards the same city, now opting to swing back as well. This might be the first 10k of the day. No, not quite, but at least for Malfunction, very, very close there too with a 4999 once again.
These are not getting that 5k. Come on, guys.
If this is the pace at which we're playing this game is going to end with both of them in round 10 having over 5,500 health.
Would you look at this?
Oh my god. We are in Denmark. 3 times in one day.
You know what they say, 3 times the charm, so...
I suppose so. If you would just zoom in for a little bit longer, I'd appreciate it. But nonetheless...
Why have we not heard the 5k yet? There's a bike path.
That is true, there is a bike path.
That's the only bike path in Denmark.
Oh, if it was only the case. If that was only the case. Also, Denmark, the country where everyone is always saying there's street signs everywhere. Well, in this case, not quite so. I believe we are in Jutland, though, with that bus sign. Definitely not. Oh, wait, I take that back. Show me something. They both found the same signs, but they don't really feel like zooming in on them for long enough. So here we go, Nordsjælland, northeast. You're on the right island. There you go, Malfunction. Good guess on that one.
She's in the right
Okay.
area. Jægerspris. She's... Oh, no, go back. That's where she was. On the south side of Frederikssund is where Jægerspris is, but didn't quite see it. And there she is. Close enough.
Good
Yeah,
enough.
good readjustment there in the last second. Found Nordsjælland, which just means Northern Zealand, which is the eastern island. And then Jægerspris, being a small city. Oh, well, small compared to everywhere else in the world, I suppose. Just south of where she was.
I mean, losing 1.2k in a country like Denmark on a very early round, not something you want to see, but
Debre, I'm
obviously
open for
happens.
Denmark lessons if you need them, my friend.
Yeah, it seems like the
Just
bus
reach
stop
out.
meta would come in clutch at some points.
Yeah, could be. Could be. As we now see here, the cannon around. Could be big damage coming through here as well. Arguably that much bigger than Denmark. We will see a lot of info available for Malfunction, but I don't think Debre has found the same sign yet.
Yeah, seems like Malfunction knows Wingham. I've never heard of it before. No.
Well, both equally far off the location. 160. I mean, if we exclude that Denmark round, we're halfway through game 1, and that would have been them sat at like 5.5k plus.
Yeah, I mean...
They're both playing incredibly well right now. Being able to do so little damage to one another, showcasing how close they both are with each they're guessing. It's definitely dangerous because that inevitable round 10 is getting ever so much closer.
Yeah, it seems like we're in a town called Buriana. Never heard of that. And a town called Grau. Buriana. Definitely seems like we have Catalan
Yeah.
language, so we should be somewhere on the East Coast. The
Debre,
question is,
looking
can anybody
towards
find
village,
it?
yeah.
It was on a screen. It was north of Valencia. It's on a screen. I saw it. Debre, a bit more north. Come on.
It's rare that I read chat while casting, but that one, they're speaking Mexican in this country. I just like it. It's fun. It had me giggling. Thank you so much, Drago. So, it was good memes. As Malfunction does fully commit Valencia.
He found
we'll
it.
see if Depre's got... He might actually have the exact round. Nope. Not quite the case. Found the city, though. But again, 500 damage. Small, considering where we are. Round 6.
Yeah, that's kind of what I expected, you know, both of them. No big mistakes, but obviously not knowing Denmark. Come on, that's a big mistake.
I know. I mean, you know what? It's rare. I always like to say, make the small countries matter. But if this actually becomes the case, where because of the lead that Malfunction got from that Denmark round becomes the win factor for her, that's huge. Also, can I just say what a beautiful location this is?
I mean, this is quite beautiful, yes.
Look at this. This is like
especially-
poster land.
Yeah, I could go here.
Gorgeous. Is this the Dolomites in the background?
We're somewhere in Italy. The question is where exactly.
Okay, so the Dolomites are very famous for the, you know, like the more
Yeah, rocky.
sharp, rocky, whatever you call it, pointy mountain range. So it could definitely be Dolomite territory, whereas if Malfunction keeps going west...
Ooh, I think she found the town.
Might
This
just have,
seems
that'd be
way too
huge.
confident. Oh, this looks like a 5k. Come on, give it to us.
Give it to us. The zigzag
on.
road is there. Malfunction is lined up. Debre, not opting to zoom as far in. And we're 2 meters off. Malfunction with
meters.
a 5k as big as can be. Dealing 2,000 damage to Debre. Solid guessing there from her.
Can't really get any closer than that.
Wow.
I mean, 2 meters. Not much room left there for improvement.
They both know where this boating club is. Wait.
It says North
Wait.
Augusta, and Malfunction has found Augusta, and she just was like, "Yep, I know that."
I'm gonna go Augusta and go north. Oh, I should have gone a bit further north, but nonetheless. Good
Maybe
guessing.
the boating club is on the lake, you know.
That would make sense.
That would make sense, right?
sense that the boating club is on the lake. Definitely. By the way, chat. First of all, I love all of you, your amazing community. Also, I could tell that we just rounded 81,000 followers in the channel. Claps in the chat. You guys are amazing. We're increasing with every single broadcast.
Ooh, Debre
not
knows
gonna
the
say.
exact town in
Yep.
Turkey. It is Ankara province. Yes, this could be very big points. 5x damage.
He needs to
And she's
turn
going
around.
even more away.
He needs to turn around. And he's there. 1 kilometer off, 300 off. Is it going to swing the wrong direction? Oh, so close. But
Almost
around
enough.
9. What better time to turn the tides? Malfunction has been sitting in the driver's seat for this entire game. And now, coming into the final moving round, round number 10, it's gonna come down to this. Malfunction, with a quick guess.
And it is the east of Andes Road in Colombia. Both of them will know it, but who will
Can you
get
get the
closer? This could be
points?
decided on a few meters.
Can you get the points needed, though? Can you get it? It's not gonna happen. It's Debre. Wow.
Barely.
What a turnaround. It took until round 9 for Debre to bring this one home. It was the Denmark round that maintained the lead for Malfunction, and then one round off in Turkey, and that sends her packing. What? I mean, for Debre to be able to maintain his composure all the way until round 9 in that game, incredible comeback.
Yeah, and it's very incredible. He did learn some city names in Turkey that are always on the bins, and there are like, I think, 800 of them, so I don't know if he learned every single one of them, but he's the one who also learned US area codes, so I wouldn't be too surprised if he did that as well, but he definitely learned some of them, because that is not a town many people would know. I mean,
that's
I
why
would
he
say
needs
maybe
to wear the hood on top of his hat, because if you only wore the hat, it would fall off. His brain is that big. So he needs to wear the hood in order to keep his hat down, you know?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's how smart he is.
Downtown
one,
Arkansas.
Yeah, a bit off on the side as we go into no move. I just gotta go. Okay, reset. I know the players have to reset, but we too have to reset. Things get too exciting here. As Debre able to take the first round here in this no-move game, up 1-0.
Yeah, and this is really an uphill battle here, because as I said, you know, moving is the chance for Malfunction to take this game, but now coming back, winning both of the modes that, you know, Debre is maybe even favored in, is not going to be an easy task. But did she find a town randomly, or?
It'd be insane if she did. Nope, a bit off on the southern side with one more Spain round. Nope. Going here, 100 points of damage. Debre able to maintain his flawless performance thus far. 2 rounds in. Now headed on into round number 3.
Yep, probably just going to be a very quick round. I don't think anyone can really make any sense out of the language here. Maybe phone codes are helpful, but haven't really looked into it.
Well, I mean, you haven't. But
They haven't. Clearly.
both equally far apart. No waving emojis, though, surprisingly enough. Both sat side by side in the wrong city, but not going to wave at one another. Too focused on the prize ahead points, that is, for them to be claimed here in the World League.
And we are back at it at Brazil. We are not leaving this country today.
Wow.
And interesting pavement here. Usually this type of pavement makes me always think we're more southern, but pretty tough to tell here. We do see a southern guess by Malfunction, so thank you for that. But we have a very big difference in guess here as well.
Definitely.
By Debre.
It's further towards the east, but both of them equally far off. Both of them. You know what? They didn't wave before, but completely synchronized on their confused
mark.
faces there. Oh, I love it. I love it. That's what we get. They didn't get the waves, but oh, that's amazing.
Brazil, you know, still unconquered territory sometimes. Some rounds are just very wild. They're not sure how you're supposed to get Rondonia. But
Is this a skip the round India plunk, or is this
educated guess.
educated
Educated guess. Educated
Okay.
guess, we say.
It just whenever you put your marker literally on the name of the country, you always go, wait, what? And I guess for good reason, because they're both over 1,000 kilometers off, but we were as far northeast as can be in India. These rounds are getting tricky.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you get Assam there. Usually you have the famous Assam pumps, and we're back in India. This should be northwest or Rajasthan or something. We do have the Rajasthan flowers, real meta. As you can see here. I mean, Debre is just closer every single time.
He is maintaining the lead, flawless all the way through round 6 right now. Malfunction. Well, effectively, she needs the same turnaround that Debre got in the previous round. It's very much a upset, or upside down, of what we saw in the moving game. Debre sat flawless into round 7.
Flawless in round 7, but does it really matter when the multipliers are this high? 4x right now and 4 rounds still to go, and we just see confident, you know what? Double yellow line in Canada makes me think Nova Scotia. Fair enough.
That's where she's
see
going.
Nova Scotia,
Debre is
yes.
there to follow. And finally, there
No
goes
flawless.
the flawless. Minimal damage at that, but proving that Debre is, in fact, not immortal in this matchup that they've got going. Now is the time for her, though, to start swinging a little bit bigger, because round 8 is upon us. Multipliers are there to help her as we go to India for the 3rd time in this no-move game.
She is clicking
It's the
metal
exact same
yet
guess
again. There is a single palm tree that makes me think we could be either far south or far north east, but it is far south, and Debre did get the southern vibe there, and that's
Is this
gonna
be
enough.
game? Yeah, it will be. 2-0 to Debre. Malfunction was sat with such a dominant lead in the beginning of that moving game, but once Debre hit home in the second to last round, he never looked back. What a game. What a game between the two.
Yeah, what a game. And the opportunity were definitely on the table still, even in the last few games, because we had 2 Indias, and Indias are very hard to guess. If Malfunction, like the far northeast one, if she gets it, she just wins the game on the spot, but that was not an easy one.
Debre did 2,600 damage to her by being over 1,000 kilometers off. That's, I mean, that's something you usually only get in Russia. Maybe we need Finbar to make a new big document on India this time around.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very hard because they use so many different Google cars, and the coverage is so bad, it really hurts your eyes to check it sometimes. So, not the most friendly thing to do.
Wild game nonetheless, and while that game was going on, 2 other games were played as well. Ammani able to take out Flyme 2-0 after another 2-0 win from him earlier today. That's 6 points in the day. Congratulations, Ammani, on a great performance. And then it's Captain versus Swan Gambit that had the sweet win 2-0 as well. Good game by him. And now, well, we get to see Malfunction again for the 3rd time today, because she's going to take on Ammani, who has had himself back-to-back 2-0 wins. Malfunction with a 2-0 win into a 2-0 loss. This one's going to be close.
It's going to be close, and Armani definitely will be feeling very good after the first 2 games of him getting 6 points. And now, I think if he wins the last game as well, 2-0, he is making a huge jump. 9 points, if we saw.
That'd be insane.
He's going up 10 places in this day. So it would be huge for him, but it's going to be tough for him because he is not that confident on moving. And we just saw Malfunction basically putting up a flawless moving game, but being stopped by Debre. Insane knowledge at Turkish towns. They're very impressive, I have to say. That's not something a lot of people like to learn or do learn, so shoutouts to him.
That's also the thing, right? Because that 2-0 win doesn't at all tell the tale of how close that match actually was for quite a long while. So even though Malfunction went out 0-2 against Debre, I'm sure she has a lot of firepower coming in against Ammani in this next matchup. But for now, we're going to go take a short break, so stick around. And when we're back, Ammani is going to go up against Malfunction.
Dear fans of GeoGuessr, it's time for us to explore the world. Come and support your favorite players as they fight it out in the virtual boxing ring. The prize? A ticket to the World Cup. This year's major locations are Japan, inside the iconic Tokyo Tower. United States at DreamHack Dallas, one of the largest gaming festivals in the world. And finally, Sweden at the newest gaming festival, Glitched, in Jönköping. Go to geoguessr.com/World Cup for more information. We will see you there.
I got a chance to see Blink lift the trophy after that insane grand final. With 2025 right around the corner, I have an idea. GeoGuessr 2025 World Cup. Denmark. Let me show you what Copenhagen has to offer. We have historic buildings. World-class dining. We got the best beer in the world. Presumably I welcome you to Copenhagen and the KP Hall, the venue of the 2025 GeoGuessr World Cup Finals.
Can Malfunction be the one to prevent Ammani from a 9-point day? We are about to find out as we get into this next game in just a few seconds. I'm Toby, joined by Siggy. For those of you guys tuning in just now, welcome. You are in for an absolute treat. That is competitive GeoGuessr broadcasted live for you. Siggy, talk to me a bit. I mean, we've seen both Ammani and Malfunction play today already, but is there anything you feel that showcases their capabilities that maybe the games today haven't quite shown? I've seen everything of their, like, what they're good at.
I mean, we just saw Malfunction basically playing flawless in the moving world, which would I expect. Basically getting unlucky with the multipliers, so she definitely has shown her strength. Meanwhile, Ammani, 2 wins with 2-0, so
yeah,
has definitely upped his win rate here. Basically on the 50% benchmark right now, so that's always good, because that's basically where the benchmark is right now to qualify for EMEA. Meanwhile, 46% on Malfunction, so also very, very close.
Yep. It is getting as close as can be, and of course they're set right in the middle of the pack that is the people at around 40 points. I mean, it's insane how few points you need to really skyrocket up the leaderboard. Look at this here. Ammani jumping into 20th place. Malfunction just a bit behind. If Ammani wins this one 2-0, he sends it all the way up into a tied 12th, surpassing the likes of, I mean, Lenley, Trishta, Sheena, you name it, down that list. So a lot of very good players up there that he now finds himself sat right next to. But here we go, into Ammani versus Malfunction. Chat, let us know, who do you think is going to come out victorious in this game as we get into round number 1.
Round number 1, moving. Let's calm it down a bit before we do have the excitement.
We know it's going to be insane.
Yeah,
we know it's going to be
interesting.
So we start calm. A lot of text available on these signs.
I can't really go calm here because the heartbeat in the background is too fast for it. It has like 100 BPM.
Malfunction is looking to go Spain. Up on the northern side. I thought I saw a sign before that definitely wasn't Spain, but it might just have been. As Ammani comes up alongside her there as well. Malfunction inside Bilbao proper. Ammani. Oh, he was down in the city on the southern side just before, opted to swing a bit further north to get closer to the big city. Shouldn't have. Would have been better for him, but nonetheless, I mean, close to one another, and it being round 1, not really too much damage happening there.
Nope, I definitely think she can recover from this, but we do stay in Europe, so I feel like no big points will be on the board. We do say Chios, which is a... I mean, I don't really have to say it. I mean, Function instantly knew. It is a town on... what's the island name again?
Island east of mainland Greece. It's what it's called. Yep. And there's only one of those, because we know Greece definitely doesn't have a whole lot of islands. As we now go into round number 3, which is also going to be a quick one. You get the very identifiable car, and then when you realize, wait, we're in South America somewhere, or Central America somewhere, should be pretty easy just to lock down the country.
If you already know all the meta, why am I even here?
I know, right? That's it's select few rounds where I can contribute. It's Guatemala rounds and it's Denmark rounds. Everything else I leave to you.
That's a very interesting combination of countries, though. Guatemala and Denmark, not really
Oddly
something
specific.
you see together.
But because I talked that entire previous round, now it's your turn.
And what a famous location we see here. We are either in Savannah Cat or Paxdale with the car. In Laos, you only see it in those 2 towns. As we see a quick zoom by Malfunction, lining it up.
Both there. Oh, 10k? Question mark?
Ooh, it doesn't look like the easiest lineup, but Malfunction definitely has it. Now the question is, can...
Come on, give it to us, Ammani. Give it to us.
Come on.
Don't go elsewhere. Go to the same place. And then give us the 10k.
No.
At least one player has it. There's the 5k for Malfunction. It's going to be a grand total of 8 damage because of it. But you love to see it nonetheless. Solid 5k for Malfunction.
Big damage coming in there. 8 points. Gonna be tough for Ammani to recover. Schleiden Mörsbach.
Oh wait, we're in Germany, so you have to 5k this. Go.
Yeah, it's somewhere southwest because the postal address starts with a 5. So it should be like Rheinland-Pfalz or southern NRW. But I don't know where Schleiden Mörsbach is, to be quite frank.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And was, as you said, out towards the western side, both almost equally off the distance, so not too much damage come through in this round. As Malfunction able to maintain the lead, sat about 1,300 points ahead right now as we reach the halfway point of this moving game. Still no clear winners in this matchup.
And wow.
Ooh!
Very
Teeny
confident
tiny
zoom.
island.
He did see the slightly red soil here and was like, yep, I'm sending an island. Will it pay off though? That is a very risky guess.
I mean, they're both out there. Malfunction committing to Okinawa and was further towards the northeast, but that's a rarity. One island off, but still 3,000 damage taken.
I mean, he took a huge risk there. There is only a few select islands where he's guessing. But you know, sometimes you have to take risks. Especially in moving if you want to win against Malfunction. I feel like he doesn't have that many chances.
True.
And wait, what?
That helps.
Does Malfunction just know the St. Louis skyline?
Wait, well, I mean, there's a massive bow on your street.
Well, it does say East St. Louis.
On your, if you know a massive bow, yeah, I was gonna say, then you're in for a pretty good time. As we get a I feel like very rare big city US round. Usually we're a bit more on the outskirts, a bit more in the suburbs at least, but this one, downtown St. Louis.
Yeah, and Ammani is keeping it up with the insta hand. I feel like he is at a point where he doesn't want to move anymore. He's either, okay, I either win this by insta sending or I lose.
With the amount of rounds gone against him, with it being round 8 right now, and, well, I mean, Malfunction effectively playing a flawless game of GeoGuessr, he needs something big, and I guess the best way for him, or the only way he can really get that, is by keeping the pace high and not allowing for Malfunction to get extra info. Now, under 1,000 health for him, but remember, he's won 2 games of 2-0 today already. Needs something big, and he needs it fast here, though. 2 rounds left to play.
Again, a very risky guess where he is sending. Was not my first guess, especially with the big mountains here. We should be north of Pretoria. Somewhere. And are we? Hard to tell with the vegetation.
Oh, Malfunction.
Here.
Hand to the head.
Oh.
Seemed a bit
Still
frustrated
closer,
with the guess there. Good for her, though, is that Ammani was equally far off, and he now sits at death's door. You need You need effectively a 6K hit on Malfunction in round 10. You're in the US.
It's gonna be very hard for him to pull this off.
Good luck, have fun, Ammani. You're gonna need it.
Definitely gonna need it here. But he is taking his time, although I feel like if Malfunction has a few more seconds, she will find something.
6K damage needed. 5.5 multipliers can do that for you. Do we get anything there? Nope, just the name of the building. There's the guess. She's close by.
Oh, she found Pennsylvania.
I don't think the damage
It
is
does
going
say
to be enough.
Pennsylvania on it.
Even if it's on the complete opposite end, I don't think it's going to be possible. And it's not going to matter, too, because she's going to get it. Never went below 5-9. That's insane. Incredible game from Malfunction. Good on Ammani to be able to stay in the race for that long. But the fact that she didn't take more than, I think, 60 damage in 10 rounds of moving, that's insane.
Yeah, that's a very tough just game mode for Ammani, especially if the rounds are not in his favor. We just saw a few urban locations, which Malfunction is very good at recognizing or finding information. So Ammani took his chances, didn't work out. He's going to be like, okay, I kind of expected to lose this game maybe, so I'll just try to climb back and win the next 2 games.
First game loss for Ammani today, as he was sitting with a 2-0, or 4-0, I should say, coming into this one. Now with a 4-1 score on the day, and we'll see if he can climb back in this one, turn the tide.
Yeah, just starting off with an Outback, Queensland here, both of them getting that, but Malfunction, pretty good start, especially no move.
We were up here once earlier today, and I believe it was actually around the Malfunction was playing, so maybe good recollection of what had happened earlier in the day. Gives her yet another round 1 under the belt, with a lot of damage hit towards Ammani here in round 1.
And you know what they say about long grass in Brazil, right? And I like the Tocantins guess, because long grass equals Tocantins. And
They're both,
I mean,
they're both
does it lie?
almost equally far apart.
The grass doesn't lie, guys. Come on.
It really doesn't. 2600. Oh, 2600 damage. That's a bit aggressive. 26 damage done towards Ammani. As, again, I mean, Malfunction just... Even looking back at the game against Debre, had it not been for that turkey around, she is just completely untouchable.
Yeah. Still sitting on the flawless here in this round, and Ammani was about to make a quick guess here in South Africa here. Not South Australia. Meanwhile, Malfunction looking around, trying to find the sun to maybe make out the hemisphere here. Not the easy South Africa, I have to say, if it is South Africa.
Oh, Ammani's gonna commit to it. See if Malfunction's gonna follow suit. Not a whole lot of info available. 5 seconds left to work with. This could be the turnaround that he needs. She's gonna go quite a bit further towards the north. Ammani's all the way down to Lesotho, and it's gonna be him closer. Still, only 150 kilometers distance, but nonetheless, damage done to tie things up.
Tying things up, and that's the Ammani I know. Very nice guess there. Usually the area where he guessed in is a bit more dry, but there are some parts that are a bit more hairy and wet. And as we go into another India, this time though, will we see a good guess? Ooh. Very risky. By Ammani here.
Because?
I didn't see the Assam pole top you usually get. And that's... I mean, I don't really see the pole, but it didn't seem like a Assam pole, but the rest really fits for Assam. Especially with the palm trees you usually get in Bangladesh. So I think both of them will go in there.
Earlier, but now not quite the case. Malfunction is joining him, though. In the very northeast side. Oh, never mind. Just a quick flick down towards the south side of the peninsula. But now she's looking back there once again towards Bengaluru.
Yeah, I think both of them recognizing that the pole is not quite correct, but it is maybe over the border. I mean, yeah, that is definitely not Assam.
I always hate to see it when you're starting to do like mouse flicks on the complete opposite side of the country. Had Malfunction up to go, that could have been game over with the multipliers. I think for her that wasn't quite the case as we take it into round number 5. Score still pretty much even.
Yeah, not much to work with. A pole in a house really here. But do they really need more? It does seem like we have French poles. Now the question is, does anyone know the local architecture in France? Definitely something people have looked into, especially somebody like Zigzag. And seems like Ammani was listening.
Yeah. Big hit. Big hit for sure. Malfunction for the first time in this matchup, showing any sign of mortality. Now sat below 3,000 health. Ammani in the leading seat coming into this next one. This is a good test your flag knowledge challenge. We'll see if that's going to help out anyone, as Malfunction instantly sends it full south.
Ooh. Does she know the flag? I mean, we do have a Chile flag and maybe the province flag.
Oh, this is going to be game.
Oh, this is going to be game.
Unless if it's right in between the two, which I doubt it will be, this should very well be game, and it is going to be game. Malfunction with an incredible quick guess. She knows her flags. 13,000 damage will confirm it, and that's a 2-0 victory for Malfunction.
Yeah, pretty good day for Malfunction today. I think 2-0 victories and one 0-2 loss. So
they both have the
not
same
too bad.
score on the day.
Yeah.
2 2-0 wins and a 2-0 loss each nets them 6 points each. I mean, overall, you can't really be too upset about a 6-point day in 3 games. I feel like, of course, you want to go out and win all of them, but even then, had one of the games been just a 2-1 win, would have tied things up nonetheless. So 6 points in the day for both. I think they're going to be satisfied with it, but of course, when it comes down to one-rounders like this, as it did here for Ammani, who finally was able to find some of the weak spots on the side of Malfunction, just to instantly be clapped back right after, that's gonna sting.
Yeah, but it does happen, and maybe she knew the flag, maybe she saw something else, but that was a very confident click, and Ammani, you know, not quite finding that information there. Yeah. But I would say that was a very clinical game by Malfunction overall, especially in the moving modes.
Oh yeah.
She knows she's better at moving, and Ammani not even trying to compete with her in that mode. So
I like that he tried. I mean, to kind of change up the pace in the latter part of the game. Obviously, he was sat behind by quite a margin, but trying to change things up a little bit to maybe climb back into the game didn't quite work out for him, though. Great game, nonetheless. As we now have Stefan versus Debre, I believe, coming up as the last game of this broadcast. It's been... not only have we had an insane amount of 2-0s today, but I feel like it's been a day where it's been very clear that just because someone's in the lead doesn't necessarily mean they're going to come out victorious. Because there's been big, when I say big, I mean massive, as you guys like to say, swings gone through the entire day.
Well, we do have two massive players here sitting pretty much at the top of the table. Debre and Stefan both are doing very well. I think probably 9th place and 10th place or something like that, or 11th. Not quite sure, but we do see 64% win rate. And we do see 61, so definitely on the higher end there.
So we didn't get to see Stefan play Blinky earlier today, but he was 0-2'd by the reigning world champion. How do you like his odds, though, in terms of playstyle and whatnot, going up against Debre? Because they are, as you can see, almost identical statistically.
Yeah, I would maybe favor Debre a bit more in the moving game, but other than that, I don't want to predict this game. And as you can see, the stats are literally saying, guys, these guys are literally the same type of quality player. But we are in for a treat, I would say, in general, because we do see 8th place and, 12th place here. But we do see Stefan with 2 less matches, so he could also catch up. So we definitely should be a nice game to end off this part of the stream.
Start off the game with instant info. Always nice to be fed 3 cities you can work with early on. They're both going to go into a Lembach, I believe that sign said. At least that's where Stefan is hovering, but not fully committed to it just yet.
Yeah, getting Palembang on a sign in Indonesia is something you like to see.
Oh, 1 city away from the 10k. There you go. That's a 5 damage slap. What is 5 damage? If a person has 6,000 health, like that's your mortality. What is 5 damage?
I think it's not even
like... Is that like
a
flake on the ear?
Not even.
Is that
not
more
even. It's probably just like
someone touching
you. They're just touching you in general, but not doing anything.
This conversation could go a lot of weird ways.
Yeah, but okay.
What does damage equivalent to if you have 6,000 health as a human being?
What is a 1-round knockout then? Is it just a gunshot? Or?
Cutting your nails. Yeah, maybe that's 5 damage. I'm not quite sure. I'm not.
Pat on the shoulder is good. No, I agree.
We'll leave that conversation for chat, because it's only gonna get weirder if we continue, as these players try to figure out where this round number 2 is taking them. 15 seconds left to work with, and neither of them having opened up the map yet.
I mean, they really wanted to find the road number here. Interesting landscape. Maybe something they have seen before, because both of them are opting for the same region.
Last second readjustment from Stefan, sending it a bit further north. Could have got even further. Would have helped him out. And I feel like this is I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but a somewhat rare northwestern South Africa. I don't feel like we're ever really up there.
Yeah, it is pretty rare because there's not a lot of roads covered. Google did go there the past year and covered more roads, so we should see it a bit more often.
Winter coverage.
Winter coverage. Where's winter in the US?
Where?
In GeoGuessr terms, it makes sense to say that, but in general, somebody would be like,
"Oh, there he goes. Thank you, Stefan. Going back to the winter. I like it more."
They would be like, "What do you mean? Where's winter in the US? Isn't it winter everywhere?" But no, in GeoGuessr, there's only a few select places, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
As we see, Debre hunting for that area code. He wants it.
Yeah, they're both maneuvering around, not liking the info they've been given thus far with the seasons. South Dakota is where Debre is initially looking.
Well, it did say it's Dakota Bank, but that's pretty much all he got.
Stefan out in the open, but now opting to go South Dakota as well. Bit further toward the east, but they're set within the same state now, pretty much on top of one another. Micro readjustments here in the end, but almost equal distance to the target here in round 3. Not gonna matter too much. Stefan maintains his flawless performance 3 rounds in. Debre sat at 5,200.
Yeah, pretty slow start, I would say, but, you know, rather have the slow rounds in the beginning than in the end, because we do want to see those big countries and the big multipliers.
We do indeed.
But this should just be a very standard of them finding a cabo pattern here in Indonesia. We do have the tiled roofs, which puts us towards Java or southern South Sumatra. But this just seems very hard to maneuver in because it's a very tightly packed city, and getting out of here is quite hard, especially because the Google movement is not that good if you have buildings on both sides.
Exactly. These mazes can lose you games more often. We've seen it so many times in these big tournaments where you get kind of caught in a very small urban area where it's just housing, or a very small residential area, I should call it instead. And it's the players that are the better at kind of recognizing how to get out of residential areas that quickly or get to the info. Seems like Debre here found himself a very, very good sign to work with. Stefan hasn't found it just yet. He has the right island, and he's just going to default into Jakarta.
But Debre right on it in the city.
Yep. That's it. He got out of the city, or got out of the residential area faster, found one sign, and that's all he needed. Stefan never found it.
Nope, didn't have quite the information Debre had, but finding the signs is a very unique skill in itself, because you do need to know where to look. And Debre was looking basically into a house of some stranger, looking for information there pretty much.
Tell me where you live! Yep, that's...
There's a thing some people do, like they look for phone numbers and just call them and ask, sorry, where are you situated? I need to know this. Don't ask why.
I'm not gonna come knocking your door, but you remember one time when there was a car parked outside your house for like a split second? Yeah, that's why. In the meantime, good info found from Stefan. I'm not sure. I think Debre went the other way, so this sign won't be fed to him. But big mountainous landscape, French speaking. Makes good sense that you go southeast France.
Okay, I'm gonna butcher the name, but it did say Val d'Alor? De Alor? Something like that.
Makes sense.
I do like the eastern guess here in the Alps.
That's exactly where it was. Down a bit further towards the south. Debre gonna be the one closer to the target this time round as he maintains his lead, making it that much bigger now, sending Stefan down under 3k.
And we do see the yellow Yamaguchi guardrail. A very interesting sight. Not that often that you see it. I mean, you only need the guardrail here.
Yeah, get the guardrail for the people that can't just do guardrail meta. And then you get the signs of the main roads leading in and out of the city as well. Debre opting to go a bit further north, but now Stefan joining him. Almost sat side by side, finding the same road here as well. Where he's going to set up shop. Could have gone a bit further south. Would have been good for them. But still, both within 11 kilometers. Solid round and 63 damage. Won't really be too much to write home about.
Don't think he will cry about that one. But now, multipliers are starting to become an issue here. And we are back in Japan yet again.
Okay, yeah.
And we do see the accuracy on both of these 4.7k on Japan.
Fairy pole meta? No, that's not a thing. There was a fairy on the pole. Yep.
We do have an area code though, 019. And we do have a volcano or something to the west there.
Yeah, I was gonna say if that's Mount Fuji, then that helps quite a bit, but not quite the case. So they're gonna send it further towards the north, both in and around Morioka, which I probably didn't pronounce right, but now both up into on the northern side of the city, and good thing they did. Debre right on point. Stefan close by as well. 132 damage. Again, small damage as these guys follow side by side, but because damage ain't bigger, it takes us all the way to round 8.
Yep, 3 more rounds left to play with high multis here. We are in Australia, and we do see Debre with a very impressive 4.6k average score on Australia. The question is whether he can do that in this round as well. Seems like somewhere in the east, we're either New South Wales, Queensland, that type of area. But as to where exactly, they have to figure it out.
They do. A lot of maneuvering up and down these streets. Not a whole lot of info available.
Or maybe I want to retract my statement because I thought there was a olive green possum guard and it would put us in Tasmania. So maybe want to wait that one out with a call.
Yeah. Usually intersections or big roundabouts is your godsend info gatherer, but this one, not really with a whole lot of info in it. No big signs coming through. Debre defaults into Brisbane. Stefan close there too as well. Gonna go even closer too again. I mean, these guys walking side by side, but equally far off. That could have been huge had one of them opted to go south instead. Instead, 40 damage is all it is. You see Debre's laughing. I mean, it's good on him because he's in the lead. That could have easily been game the other way. And Stefan, on his face, the emotion is different. And it's like, I knew that could have been mine.
And round number 9 seems like it's 5 cable. Again, we do have a road number in
A lot of
South
info.
Korea here and a lot of town names. And we have a bridge. That's also very good.
Bridge in Seoul. Like, good luck, have fun. There's like 2,000 of them. As you
Yeah,
can
but
see.
you have the angle and the road number?
Yeah, true.
Surely.
There's enough info available. And now you get 1 trillion bridges for Debre to work with.
But we have Stefan and
Stefan is
Busan
going
here.
Busan. Okay. Is that just mental default into Seoul, or...
I don't know. I feel like the one road number you only get in big cities. So I think...
Oh, he changes it! Oh, and good on him that he did. It's going to be a 5k for Debre, a low point 5k, but still a good way to go into the last round, Stefan. You can see the frustration on his face. Able to survive to round 10 off of the flick back to Seoul, though. And now, he needs everything going his way. He's down 2,500 points, and maybe this is the country that can do it for him.
This is not good for Stefan because this is a very noble road in Chile, southern Chile here. I think Debre should have this one under his belt if he remembers this road. Other than that, Stefan has no chance. This is either Debre doesn't know or he knows.
We could do the math, 2,500 damage, and now he has info on cities as well.
Did you forget where
He's a bit further north. Oh, and he's going to be closer with it as well. How much damage is it going to amount to? Nah, it wouldn't even have been enough had it been the other way around. So Debre going to take this one, but it does go all the way to round 10 still, though. Debre never going below 5,000 health. A very, very impressive game of moving for him.
Yep, that was very impressive. Basically not letting anything slide there. We did see Stefan playing better in the beginning.
Yeah.
Basically having a flawless, putting him down to 5.2k, but after that, Debre kind of took over.
That's where your brain instantly just jumps back to that Australia round, where they both go up towards Brisbane, right? Because they were both 900-some kilometers off in that round. And I think that's why I saw it on Stefan's face, like, oh my lord. Debre is playing practically flawless right now. And that was my one round. That was my one-time shot to get a good hit in on Debre. Even if that doesn't win him the round, it would have set him up much better for the round 10 tie potential. So, unlucky for Stefan, that didn't go his way. As we get this next game of moving ready. Oh, sorry, no move. Ready for you to come. I mean, now we've gotten to see Debre 3 times today. What has been your main takeaways from his playstyle playing today? Because right now he plays, seeming to me, with all types of confidence.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the Debre I know. He's playing very confident, just making it look easy, especially in those situations where he just has very niche knowledge in some type of areas. We did see the knowledge in town names in Turkey, and something like that. There's just not a lot of players who pull off something like that. But now he's limited to this, so just
get the water, get the foliage, you get a bit of a fence in the background, and instantly goes south side Mexico.
Yeah, seems like the Americas somewhere. We do have a blue Google car here, which excludes some countries like Colombia. But other than that, they have to work it out themselves. We did see the sun in the south, I think.
I like that type of... Because you kind of have to install 2 brains when you become good at GeoGuessr. Either it's the I see something, therefore it's here. Or it's the I don't see anything, therefore we play by deduction instead. And that's, I feel like, what's happening right now. No clear indicators. So as you're saying with the blue car, you gotta slowly and as best as you can start reducing the possibilities to a select few. They're both gonna go Mexico. Stefan closer to the east coast, jumping back out there late. And good on him that he did, because it ends up working out for him.
All the way down there in Chiapas. Pretty tough round to get Chiapas there, because Chiapas usually hilly, and we did see a very flat kind of looking landscape with a river going through it. So Not an easy get, but we go into India again. A lot of India recently.
True.
But we also had like 50 million locations in Brazil to start off the stream, so...
And 3 Denmarks. I just gotta get it out of the way because, I mean, we haven't had Denmark in forever, and now we get 3 in one day, so... Am I right in reading that because we have the text there with the line gone through, there's a bigger chance that it's north and south, right? Because we have 2 different languages, yes. So for any new GeoGuessr player out there, if you can tell that you're probably in India and you can tell on the text, if that's the line through in the top, you can kind of see on the screen as well. It's only in the southern part that they have the non-line go through, which, is it called Bengali? I'm not sure. I might be butchering this completely. But
Bengali. Bengali is the language in Bangladesh
I'm not gonna,
and West
I'm
Bengal.
not going to say anything anymore. I was doing good for a while, and then I was doing poorly.
Okay,
so
but they are doing good.
As you said before, I retract my last statement.
You had it, but you should say Hindi instead of
Damn,
Bengali.
it was the wrong way around. Okay, never mind.
They are quite similar in how they look, Hindi and Bengali, but... And there's also sub-dialects, like you have Punjab, you have Marathi, probably even more that I don't know.
Bro. Okay.
You also
Stop, he's already dead, you know? Yeah, it's that kind of vibe. We're going to round 4. Debre in taken down low here. Stefan wanted to get this lead in the previous game, but couldn't quite find it. This time around, though, might be better for him. As there really isn't, I mean, at least in my eye, a whole lot of info available. You do have the mountains in the distance, though.
Yeah, we have an interesting white dot on the chevron. Usually you have it on a separate bollard. I don't know if that means that you usually get a bollard here that has a circular thing on it. That would help, because it's kind of like Colorado and stuff. And that is also where Debre is right now. I quite like Colorado here with the pines. Stefan, very far north. Very far north from Stefan.
Yeah. I mean, chat's in the Faroe Islands, so I think we're good. We're having a good time here. Staying somewhat central towards the west of the US, and Debre gonna be the one closer to the target. Big swing happening here. Big damage. Ooh, almost fatal damage coming through with Stefan. Sat down to just over 1100.
I was about to say big swing. It almost looked like a knockout punch there. Didn't seem as far away. As we are in Germany. And I think it says SPN, which stands for Spree-Neiße Kennzeichen. Or, sorry, Spree-Neiße. Where is that again? I think it's near Berlin somewhere.
Well,
or Sachsen? I don't know.
Stefan playing with
anybody
the back
in chat
against the
should
wall
tell me
here.
where Spree-Neiße is. But it should be northeast somewhere, because we also have an area code starting with 03, which I think is Sachsen.
Stefan needs something big happening. He's sat with his back against the wall. He's all the way towards Frankfurt. And Debre was, I was gonna say, all the way east. He went Dresden earlier, then he goes north,
Wait,
and then he
5K.
wins it on a 5K in a back alley in a German town. What a performance from Debre, able to win this one 2-0.
Yeah, impressive knowledge, even in the last round there, knowing his phone codes. Or maybe he saw a town name, because he was not only in the right area, he was in the right town, on the right street. So,
Insane.
Big ups to him.
Absolutely insane. Able to swing back, able to make it a 2-0 effort. Not an easy one by any means, because it did go all the way to round 10 in the previous one. So Stefan putting up a good fight, but Debre was just not to be torn down. Not this time around, at least. He got himself a 2-0 win against Malfunction just before. Now able to get himself yet another one. Only the match against Clement earlier today went against him. So still, I mean, a 7-point day in the 3-match show. That's a pretty good day for Debre.
yeah, very good day for Debre. A lot of points going his way, but also I feel like a lot of points going to someone like Ammani, who also can need the points as well. So
yeah, I mean, again, with the amount of 2-0s coming through, the points will be swung, that much more in one direction, but it also means that some people will go away with practically nothing. Yanik, one of them. We saw on screen those one more. Stefania as well, going 0-2 against Blinky, 0-2 against Debre. A tough loss for them, as we see now. Debre jumping up into 6th place. Lero up in top 10 as well. Captain 2 now within the reach of top 12 once again. He was up there a couple of weeks back, but now trying to make his way back on in. And Ammani too, I mean, as you were saying, able to really fly far up, and one more win, then, well, I mean, he's in top 10 practically. Not quite, but almost there.
Not quite, but we also see Lero in 9th place, and I want to put emphasis on how he has just, worked his way up. Nobody really noticed him going all the way from the bottom of the table to the top, but that was just due to him not playing a lot of games at the start of the league, and now he's in 9th place, and people are like, wait, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Wait.
Well, I mean, with the games done for the day, with the view of the leaderboard here as it sits, let's now hop over and get today's interviewee on the call, I suppose we can say, because we have Malfunction here ready for a chat with us. Welcome, Malfunction. Congrats on what we have coined a pretty good day. I mean, 6 points in 3 games. How do you feel about today's performance?
I'm very happy with how I did. I wasn't expecting to get many points today, but yeah, 6 is already way more than I was anticipating.
And I mean, off of that, and obviously we've just taken a look at the leaderboard. You probably know kind of the lay of the land of how things are. We're sat in week 15. If you are to look back on the, well, now first 15 weeks of play and looking at what you have coming up in the next couple of weeks, where are you sat, like motivational wise? Are you feeling like I still got it, I can still make it into the top, or how are you feeling? Because you're playing really good right now.
I need to lock in. I think I can definitely do it if I step my game up. I'm definitely on the edge of actually being able to qualify for the regionals, but I think I can do it, especially with how I played today and how I will play tonight against Gingy.
It was looking incredible. There's no doubt about that. Siggy, any questions from you?
No, I just wanted to say that you played very well in the games you had, and especially even the loss you had against Debre. I mean, I don't know if you saw him knowing a very small BDSC in Turkey is not something a lot of people would know. I feel like he's the only one who knows that town other than Jalochus, so that was just very unfortunate. But other than that, I would say you pretty much played not flawless, but just very well in general. So just wanted to get that off my chest. And maybe a quick question that I would have is, what does Debre have that other people don't have? Because I feel like he just gets some things that other people don't.
He just has ridiculous knowledge of many dumb things that no one else knows about. Like, he learned every BDSC. What are you supposed to do about that? Who else is gonna do that? No one.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, that's what it's all about, right? Find those weird, small, niche knowledge things that might never get to use for anything, or maybe one day you get the round that it matters the most. I guess I can ask off of that. Off of what you've learned, obviously you know a incomprehensible amount of things about the world and how it's laid out, but what would you say, just off the top of your head, is the most random niche knowledge that you have that you've never gotten to use in a competitive round? Like something where if it happens, you will just get it instantly for the most random reason ever.
I don't have a lot of that niche knowledge. I kind of have mostly general knowledge. I mean, I guess kind of related, but I won the Ammani game, the no move of the flag of the Magianis, which is the first time I've ever used that in game.
There you go.
It was a fun thing to use.
We said it as soon as the round started. Now it's about knowing your flags. I mean, you instantly send it south, and we were like, okay, there might be a good reason for that. And, well, I mean, as you said, it won your game. So every little bit of knowledge that you can acquire can win you games. There's no doubt about that. Lastly, I want to ask, I mean, again, if we look back to the first portion of the, because we are kind of getting closer towards the end of things, is there anything that you have felt in your own play? Like, how have you evolved? Because you've gotten every week to play against some of the best players in the world. You're up there amongst them yourself. How do you feel like you have evolved if you look back to week 1 Malfunction, now getting a chance to talk to week 15 Malfunction?
I think I've definitely improved a lot, just in general. Actually giving me a reason to play the game and grind the game, and actually to figure out how to play these game modes. Because I didn't know how to play moving duels at all before this. Like, you can go back to my first few games on moving and see that I was playing terribly. And now I actually figured out how to do stuff.
Would you also say that has been your biggest challenge that you've had to improve on over the course of the World League, moving specifically? Or is there anything else, like in particular, that has stood against you that you have been working on?
I mean, it's also a mindset thing. I've definitely gone into a better mindset in the last few weeks because I've actually been able to get those wins in. But my mindset was pretty crushed in the early few weeks, especially because I had like a day where I played Radu and Harrier and Blinky at the same, in the same 2 hours.
Tough.
And I lost all of them. Yeah.
It does be like
yeah,
that
it's the mindset
sometimes,
thing.
I suppose. You get one of the tough days up against you. Lastly, I want to give you a chance to any shout-outs you want to do to the fans, viewers out there. There's been a lot of support I've seen in the chat for you here today, so the mic is yours if you want to do any shout-outs.
Shout out everyone who supports me, who is supporting me in these these games. It's definitely giving me power to go through this. Then I wouldn't be able to play like this if no one was there to believe in me.
There you go. Absolutely amazing. Well, thank you, Malfunction, for joining us. Congrats. And again, pretty phenomenal day. 6 points in 3 matches. Looked very, very good. Even in the game against Debre that ended up going against you, you were looking incredibly impressive. So best of luck in your weeks of GeoGuessr.
Thank you.
And that's it for Malfunction. Always nice to have a chat with these pros. I mean, so insightful, so incredibly smart. And yeah, I mean, getting to it's so funny when she says, yeah, I really sucked at moving. You know what? If I go back and look at her moving games from week 1, 2, and 3, I'm gonna be like, yeah, but you're still like 9 trillion times better than any of us. What did you take away from her interview there? Anything that you maybe seen yourself say, like things to improve on over time, mindset wise and whatnot?
No, I would say in general, we saw a shift of people losing a lot in the first few weeks.
Yeah.
And then kind of grinding their way back into becoming better, because if you're at the lower end of players, you have more knowledge to gain rather than somebody at the very top, like Blinky and Contis and RC. They don't have that much knowledge left that you can really extract. There's just not that much left. But at the bottom, you can just catch up quickly, very, very fast. And especially if you grind a lot of games, like somebody like Zigzag, just get 10k games in 2 months, then you'll also improve. So there's just more at the bottom than at the top, so we just see like a convulsion of people getting closer in skill level, which is interesting to see. At least
Definitely.
that's my take on it.
And with how close the leaderboard currently is, I mean, it's safe to say, I know it sounds cliche, but it ain't over till it's over, because 1 week of games can make things happen. And you know what? I mean, while we don't have any more games coming up for you right now, if you stick around till a little bit later, there will be more games coming. And look at the matchups we have coming your way. Finbar versus Harrier is where we start off. And then secondly, the reigning world champion Blinky takes on Flyme. Down the list we go of absolutely insane game. And as Malfunction said, she's going to take on Gingy too. There is some really, really good games lined up for you here tonight, everyone. So make sure to tune in then and watch. They start in, if you look at the clock right now, just about exactly 4 hours. So no matter where you are in the world, no matter the time zones, it's in 4 hours and 4 minutes. Doesn't get any easier than that. Make sure to come back here and tune in, yeah, because it's a good time. Any closing words for you, Siggy, to round off today's games?
No, it was fun casting with you again. I mean, it's been a while. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for the players for showing up. So yeah, it was a lot of interesting 2-0 matches.
Definitely.
Usually we always wanted NMPZ games, but for the players they want that 3 points, and today a lot of people got the 3 points they wanted. So yeah, I don't have anything else to add.
They sure did. Also, I think my only thing that I want to add, I know I'm just yelling into the ether because none of you guys out there really care, but I got to cast 3 Denmark rounds in 1 day. Thank you, GeoGuessr. I like that a lot. Let's make the small countries matter, at least to me and my sake of getting some Denmark rounds in. But thank you, everyone, so much for tuning into the show today. It's been a pleasure, as always, seeing you guys in the chat, being active, being supportive. You really are a phenomenal community that we just love being a part of. So stick around. See you guys in 4 hours for more GeoGuessr. Until then, go play some more.
Dear fans of GeoGuessr, it's time for us to explore the world. Come and support your favorite players as they fight it out in the virtual boxing ring. The prize? A ticket to the World Cup. This year's major locations are Japan, inside the iconic Tokyo Tower. United States at DreamHack Dallas, one of the largest gaming festivals in the world. And finally, Sweden at the newest gaming festival, Glitched, in Jönköping. Go to geoguessr.com/World Cup for more information. We will see you there.
I got a chance to see Blink lift the trophy after that insane grand final. With 2025 right around the corner, I have an idea.
GeoGuessr 2025 World Cup. Denmark. Let me show you what Copenhagen has to offer. We have historic buildings. World-class dining. We got the best beer in the world. Presumably. I welcome you to Copenhagen and the KB Hall, the venue of the 2025 GeoGuessr World Cup Finals.